is a relatively old clip. It's a couple months old.
This is 5 years old. 5 years ago, you were having your friends review Lolicon porn. Are we gonna hold you to that standard?
You look up the net worth for AOC.
All of a sudden, he's not very confident in this lie, but he's still pushing it. Oh, wait, we got a big fuck up right here. This information is deceptively presented to you on purpose.
She's a socialist. She actually wants to completely destroy the economy.
Trump's doing a good job, though. Tired of winning it, guys?
Talking about this makes all the difference. Oh, obviously it makes a difference. What is even going on?
Doesn't Nux go on about how he's just memeing and trolling, and now he's having a meltdown on a chatter? What happened to the, we're just existing in chaos?
This is the same lie. They repeat the same lie every single day because they think if they repeat it enough times, all of a sudden the morons are going to listen and believe it.
That's your whole platform. These people are liars. They withhold information intentionally, so they have plausible deniability. Enough is enough, guys. We're getting started. What a wild picture to open to, huh? This is just a lot of information we got going on here. Someone sent me this Nux video. They liked it when I reacted to his last horrific political take. It's just like another one of the brain dead conservatives. Not that they're all brain dead, but he certainly is, that just say things that are wrong. My last video was actually insane because of how many wrong things he was saying. But I'll tell you right here, man, I'm a Jew, but I think I could get turned. I think I might be... The German side of me is screaming. It's a good picture. Anyway, I'm curious about what this is. It's just AOC is a high percentage of fucked. I don't know why. Let's just go.
Patriots and supporters of AOC, welcome to another video. You may not be aware of this, but AOC is currently 120% cooked.
Probably not, but okay.
It is so over for this woman.
This is like, what the hell? This is like a... Hey, YouTube! AOC's cooked! Okay.
Literally so over. So,
okay.
I hope you're ready to lock
literally, like in the sense that it is over, or like literally in the sense that it's not over? Like the irony of literally.
In boys and girl, because this is going to be one of the craziest deep dives of all time. I don't know if we're starting a whole ass...
It's going to be a Twitter... It's going to be reading a Twitter thread full of misinformation that we're about to debunk. I'm telling you right now, that's what's going to be.
AOC deep dive drama situation. I don't know if we're literally going to be rolling in and starting a franchise about AOC's insane mental retardation, but we goddamn should at this point. So, lock in. You are so not ready for what is about to come. So...
Dude, this is like the intro to a fucking summoning salt video. Like, what is happening here?
I wanted to show you some pretty insane situations that have happened, specifically in regards to AOC over the last couple of days, that kind of cooked her career. Her career is donezo.
Yeah, probably not.
Literally gone. She went on this tour with Bernie Sanders around the country talking about...
I think it went pretty well. I think a lot of people are starting to positively respond to AOC and Bernie.
And it's the oligarchy, they're controlling everyone.
Pretty much, yeah. There's a bunch of rich people that are in charge of our government that seem to have a vested interest in lying to us about everything. And it's just going to get worse now. But yeah, I mean, when you have the richest person in the entire world saying that we have to cut Social Security, that's keeping old people from dying like dogs in the street, I'm thinking that maybe, yeah, we have an issue with some kind of a financial oligarchy. Do I think that Nux believes what he's saying, or is he grifting? I think that... This is a good question. I think that Nux is unironically one of the stupidest people that I've ever seen. I think that for a lot of people, it's very cathartic to turn their brain off and not be intelligent about any topic they approach, and just deciding, like, this is who I'm going to align with. Right now, the social atmosphere online aligns very heavily with being very right-wing and obnoxious and incredibly stupid. And so I think that's what it comes from. He makes a lot of money. He doesn't have to be intelligent at all. There's no expectation of fact-checking, even though he lies constantly. And I think that he likes making a lot of money being incredibly stupid and fucking brain dead. And a couple of years from now, people like this and people like Asmongold will be spouting left-leaning talking points, because things just go back and forth. There's an ebb and flow. We were very far left in 2020. We're very far right now. Give it another couple of years, we'll be more far left, and then he's going to be sitting here and probably choking down trans cock. So they don't have any moral value. You know, people have the right to change their political beliefs. They're not changing their political beliefs because they've, encroached upon a new discovery about life. They're literally just guzzling whatever is socially acceptable to guzzle in their sphere. So
Elon Musk is so dangerous. And they're all doing that.
Yeah.
Turns out AOC is in mega trouble.
Whoa, mega trouble.
Mega fucking trouble.
Mega trouble, like a mega evolution.
And you are going to see why in just a minute. It's going to be fun. So first,
sound like
Elon Musk gave a little speech yesterday where he calls AOC out, and I think she might end up in jail after all this.
Why Why would she be in jail?
All right, now there's levels here. All right, 100%. That's when your career is in trouble. 120% is when the slammer starts becoming an option.
A lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress.
How are they so strangely wealthy? Fantastic.
Either book deals or stock market investing. And there's a whole conversation to have about whether or not they should be able to do that. Sure, okay. I mean, who knows if they have some kind of insider trading insight, but I don't know.
Question.
Where I just can't, I'm trying to connect the dots of how do they become rich while earning, how they get 20 million if they're earning 200,000 a year?
Interesting.
Sounds, nobody can explain that.
Nope.
Well, they can be explained. So some people, like I think Nancy Pelosi married into wealth, right? I'm not saying don't look at these people. It's very easily explainable. And it's the irony that like we voted for this guy to cut corruption in the government. But for the most part, ignore, potential real corruption, which is lobbying groups being able to spend infinite amount of money doing whatever they want. But Elon Musk has his own lobbying group, I'm sure, with Tesla.
So something's.
Well, I mean, I can explain it. Fraud.
Whoa, he got us.
That's my opinion. Okay. No, that's my opinion. Hey, don't cancel me for stating an opinion.
We're going to try to figure it out and certainly stop it from happening.
Cool.
So.
You believe that? Like, I don't know, man. When he's had to retract some of his biggest, he's had to retract some of his biggest potential savings, silently, while not being able to prove the majority of them. I'm not really super confident in what he has to say. This is the guy that claims that there are tons of people over the age of 100 collecting Social Security checks, which is not true. When the reality is that there are people who are over 100 still in the system that have incomplete death certificates, something along the lines of like incomplete death information. But it's a problem that would cost, I think it was $50 million to correct. So they were just like, it doesn't matter. They're not alive. Who cares? And Elon Musk extrapolated that into a bunch of people are stealing money from Social Security when that's not happening. So I don't really trust what this guy has to say. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so AOC's, I think, shaking in her boots a little bit. We kind of understand.
What does this have to do with AOC? AOC's worth $125,000. That's her estimated net worth. What does this have to do with AOC?
Kinda why what? She's going wild.
What does this have to do with AOC at all? Elon Musk didn't even say her name, and AOC's net worth is like $100,000. He's not even referring to her when it comes to congressmen and women that make millions of dollars or are worth millions of dollars. Nux has just decided to read one Twitter article that says she's worth a ton of money, but it's not verifiable at all. And Forbes contradicts it completely. What is he talking about? Okay.
And starting to consistently talk about how crazy this is. So obviously, no one knows exactly how much AOC is worth right now, but
nobody knows exactly how much anybody's worth. They're rough estimates based on what their assets and how much money they make. That's how net worth works. She's estimated to be like 100. I'm pretty sure it's like $125,000.
I think we can all agree that she's shaking in her boots.
No,
so
we can't agree.
If you look up the net worth for AOC, you get different ranges.
Yeah, what's your range?
You get different ranges.
What's your range? What's your range here?
This is a pretty good one. I mean, I don't know.
Yes. This is the let's see. A guy said that she's worth estimated $30 million. That's crazy. It's interesting that you wouldn't look up, some kind of normal post about that. But okay, you can Google it and the results aren't even close to this. Why is it that why is his fact check a random Twitter page? This is a lie. This is a lie. He's such a weirdo. Oh my God.
If it's how accurate it is, but it's kind of crazy to even think about. AOC was approximately $8,000 in debt in 2019. She was a bartender. Then
I'm in fucking $100,000 of debt. Like, who cares? It's all student loans. Between mine, my wife's, my ex's, that's a whole other story. I have a car. Who gives a shit?
She was elected to Congress with a salary of $174,000 a year. And now her net worth is just under $30 million.
Wow. And what's the source for that?
Listen, guys.
What's the source for that?
Cringe is going on. I don't know, man.
What's the source for that? Here, I'll just bring up Grok. I'll just bring up Grok. Let's see. This suggests her net worth could be as low as negative $47,000 and as high as $31,000. Wow, that's incredible. Holy shit. But they're projecting 300,000 by the 2025, I guess. But this, I guess, was before. I suppose this was okay. I don't understand. She also have a bunch of wealth in some kind of savings plan. There is not a single verifiable source that you can come up with that will ever show $30 million. You've just decided to read something on Twitter. This guy's a fucking moron. You know what I will say? I'm going to say something right now. I'm Jewish, okay? I'm ethnically Jewish. I'm not even kidding. But it's so interesting that Nux's entire audience are literal brain-wormed anti-Jew people who think that Jews have destroyed the world and that millionaire Jews are running everything and the Jews are crazy. This is a fucking Israeli Jew living in Israel sitting here pushing disinformation to manipulate you into watching their videos for money. That's not my conspiracy theory. Everybody can be just as bad regardless of any ethnicity. But I mean, why does his own audience eat up his shit? I don't understand. If they knew he was a fucking Jew living in Israel, he would lose half of his followers instantaneously. But he keeps that one a secret. Shh, keep it under wraps, baby.
A little suspicious.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna sit here and make believe I actually know what's going on. All I know is there's some creaky shit going on.
This is so funny because if you watch my first video, the attitude and tone was AOC's net worth is like $30 million. But if you hear it now, he's like, hey, this might be true. I'm not an egotistical man, but I mean, what's different between my first video and this video? Me. Has he dialed down the rhetoric because people are starting to watch his fucking idiot bullshit?
And I don't know. How did you do this in 3 years during a pandemic?
Because it's not true.
Rocketing up from debt to multi-millionaire again.
Because it's not true.
I don't know exactly how much he's worth. This could be wrong.
Look at him. He's sweating. Bro, wait. Okay, I don't want to be full of myself. What is the difference in now and then? He's starting to be super careful in what he's saying. He was not careful at all in his first video, but now he's like super careful. Okay, I don't know. I just don't know if this is true. I don't know. What is happening? He's like a fucking bitch now. What happened to like the confident lying? All of a sudden, he's not very confident in this lie, but he's still pushing it, but he's not super confident. This is pathetic.
This might not be super accurate.
Oh, really?
The fact that
it sounds like you know
Elon
it's not
is starting
accurate.
to look into this really makes it a little bit clear as to why perhaps AOC is sort of co-signing the vandalization of Teslas. Listen.
What?
Perhaps, potentially, it's a little weird. So anyway,
potentially,
that's important.
A lot of plausible deniability language. Maybe Ethan Klein's lawsuit has made him a little scared now. That might be actually it's probably more of a reason why. Because these motherfuckers know that they can't get away with disinformation.
To note, so a bit of a truth bomb. How does someone worth that much over such a short amount of time end up so terrified of Elon Musk that she's willing to potentially do some underhanded shit? Well,
what underhanded shit?
Don't worry, guys, because this is her rebuke against Elon. This is very funny, actually, because this is essentially her making a TikTok to expose Elon, but she accidentally just completely exposes herself.
Oh, I can't wait to see it, bud.
This might be one of the greatest self-owns in the history of the internet. If you are not subscribed for libtard downfalls, then you are missing out.
If you are a fan of Donald Trump and
Donald Trump every 4 years,
you like to punish yourself by watching my live streams, welcome. I'm still fighting for your healthcare anyway.
Cool. What is with the animation on this thing? This is just so gay. And I know people are probably like, you shouldn't use gay as a slur or as a pejorative, right? Because it's not a slur. But I don't care. I mean, like, these guys have been just going around shitting, coming, and farting and saying the most wild shit. This guy looks so fucking gay. Everything about this guy is gay. The fucking the VTuber model is gay. The obsession with Jaden animations is gay. The animations themselves that he probably paid a ton of money for is gay. The fact that he probably had somebody model it with a fucking cock fucking himself in the ass, that's gay. It's all just so gay and cringe. It's just like, it's just fucking so cringe. What is happening? You know that he's paid for like fucking stroking animations on this shit.
That's our GOAT. That's our GOAT. AOC fighting for our healthcare.
Cool.
I think maybe I was wrong because she said this on TikTok.
Wow. Yeah, she's been fighting for universal healthcare, sure.
Maybe she's actually one of the good guys.
Okay.
Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot. AOC accuses Trump and Elon of gutting Medicaid and taking away healthcare. AOC
Yes, that is because they want to do that.
hasn't said a word about Kathy Hochul.
Oh, fuck, I forgot. I have to fucking do this. Yeah, so there's been a proposition to cut like, what, $880 billion for Medicaid over 10 years, $88 billion, which gives poor people and old people health care, right? There's also a reduction in like the HHS, which encompasses Medicare and Medicaid this year. Yes, they are trying to gut these different entitlement services, okay? These welfare services. This is something that they want to do.
In her district in New York, stripping over 100,000 elderly and disabled New Yorkers of their Medicaid-funded home health care that will go in effect April 1st.
So just a couple things. Number one, you have no idea what you're talking about because you're a stupid fucking baby just reading Twitter things. Number two, the proposition here, because I live in New York, is specifically saying that you can no longer have your family members be your home health care aides, which I think is stupid. Let them do it. Who gives a fuck? I think it's ridiculous that they wouldn't let them do it. Number three, like, what is she supposed to do? Like, I don't understand. I don't really understand. Like, so are you saying that her criticizing this is not valid? Because I don't think that you're saying she should also criticize this. I think that you're using this to say nothing that she has to say matters because you're a fucking baby that can't actually engage with the topic of conversation right now.
Today, April Fool's, guys, when she said she's fighting for healthcare, she was only fighting for healthcare specifically when it's against Trump, not when it's against her own people. Kathy Hochul overhauled the CDPAP program in a rigged bidding process, which will cause elderly and disabled New Yorkers to lose their home healthcare.
What does that mean to you?
New Yorkers will die, and she is the congresswoman representative of that district in New York, which we will be covering.
Sorry, I just want to be clear. We're using libs of TikTok as a source, right? You want to be clear. We're losing libs of TikTok. The only thing that is confirmed is that they are redoing the way that they do their home health care, right? Everything else is just rhetoric that surrounds from libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok. That's most of what this is, just to be clear. Okay? Okay.
For the course of this video, because her district is one of the most crime-riddled districts in all of America. April Fools! Turns out the...
Is that even true? Yeah, that is true. She has parts of fucking the Bronx and Queens. It's of course going to be high crime. What do you propose that she does about it, Nux? You think that cutting the Department of Education is going to help her? You know what we could do, and Nux doesn't care because he's an Israeli Jew. He doesn't actually live in the States or care. We could stop giving other states our money. We're a blue state. We're a donor state. We get 75 cents back on the dollar for every bit that we give to the federal government. So just stop doing that. Let us keep all of our money, and we'll make our state perfect. But we have to fucking subsidize you poor bitches in fucking red states.
Democrats are kind of anti-healthcare sometimes.
In what way? They're kind of anti-healthcare sometimes? Okay, that's great. Wow.
Kinda crazy. Anyway, she continues on this rant.
If you are MAGA and you're on Social Security, congratulations. Welcome. I'm fighting for your benefits too.
She's only fighting for MAGA. She doesn't fight for her own people. Pretty base.
Because
okay.
I actually believe that people should age with dignity in this country.
Sure.
I believe that
tell that to the 100,000 people losing healthcare in your district.
People should have access to healthcare. We don't.
So that's not true. They're not losing healthcare. They're not losing healthcare. It's just reformatting the way that you would like have people take care of you, home health aides. That's my understanding. But okay, if you say so.
Quote unquote, have the money for a better and improved social safety net.
You don't have the money for a better social safety net. Then why are you against Elon Musk stopping the funds that go to underwater LGBT chicken tickling in Libya?
If conservatives actually had a problem with the foreign aid that we gave, then why hasn't any like conservatives meaningfully in the Senate and the House proposed to cut funding to other countries in some significant way? Like, this is a debate for them to figure out. This isn't something for the president to make executive orders on. Foreign aid is something that like the House and the Senate debate on. So we give them money for things in other countries. Usually it's some type of healthcare, children not dying. I'm sure that some of the funds are misappropriated, just like some funds are always misappropriated, regardless of the context, by a few percent. But for the most part, it's for like healthcare and different educational programs, things that I'm assuming that he doesn't care too much about. But yeah, she's going to go on and talk about how Elon Musk should be paying more money into Social Security. You kind of cut her off there.
Okay, what is going on? Elon is like, wait a second, I think that we should probably cut funds to surprise butt sex in Afghanistan. And she's like, whoa, that's a threat to democracy. Anyway, we don't have the money in the system to help healthcare.
It is a threat to democracy, even if you disagree with it. The Senate has the Senate and the House came to a conclusion that that's how they want to spend the money. So if you wanted to reverse that, you would quite literally go through that system. It is a threat to democracy for Donald Trump to just make executive orders cutting foreign aid. You can be for not having foreign aid, but like we live in a democracy. A democracy is supposed to be multiple people coming to a conclusion based on different compromises and different perspectives. And then we have, our representative democracy, right? Democratic Republic and all that. And so the Senate would deal with this. It is a threat to our democracy when any president tries to overstep their position. But okay.
You will never make this make sense. You will never, ever make this make sense.
Why are you
Elon's
talking
like, all
about
right, guys, so it turns out that 2.7 million employees have 4.7 million credit cards. There are 2 million illegal credit cards out there. What's going on?
Oh my God, we talked about this before. So just to be clear, from what I remember, it could be an issue, but a lot of these credit cards have like rolled over and they don't, like a lot of them are outdated. Like they don't exist anymore. They're still in the system. Right. So from what I'm doing a refresher. Yeah, it's something to look into. Just to be clear, that 2.7 million figure isn't exactly accurate. There are like 4 million civilian and military individuals working for the government that might have access to some form of a credit card. It's not even necessarily a new credit line. It could be another credit card that's on the same credit line. There could be credit cards in reserves. You could look into it if you want. I don't see how this is a slam dunk from people who think that there are extraordinary amounts of people that are on Social Security that are over the age of 115 when you literally start losing your Social Security at 115. It is a general rule. They just make shit up. So look into it. What do you think that we're going to find? Copies of credit cards that go back to government accounts because it's government spending accounts. Okay. Could be an issue. Probably not. It's not really the slam dunk that you think it is, especially when they underreport the number of people that potentially have these cards and not taking into account that there could be some people with multiple cards depending on what their position is and depending on what these credit cards route to. We don't really know the specifics. It's something that's nice to look into, but we don't even really know the specifics here.
AOC says, wow, Elon disrupting the system. He's not even elected. What are we talking about?
I mean, is not a reasonable criticism to make.
Oh my God, what an unbelievable clown. This video is her literally destroying her own campaign.
Because we let assholes like Elon Musk gut Medicaid.
That didn't happen.
And gut Social Security.
That didn't happen.
They've proposed the cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. That's what they're doing. Yeah, so just to be clear, Elon's goal is to try to cut $1 trillion from our spending, which is going to be almost impossible considering at least 20% of our spending, if not more, comes from Medicare and Medicaid. Just to be absolutely clear. So that is indirectly a threat. Also, the $880 billion that Trump's administration support in trying to cut from the HHS, which is the overseeing committee, from my understanding of Medicare and Medicaid, is a threat to your Medicare and Medicaid. There are plenty of different things that route back to them trying to cut entitlements. Or we could just go with hey, Republicans are always trying to cut Medicare and Medicaid. It's always a thing that they're trying to do. So we also have Elon Musk lying about the amount of waste, fraud, and abuse inside of Social Security and calling it a Ponzi scheme. So, yes, they are trying to cut your entitlements. They're actively litmus testing people. It's the same thing where they're like, oh, Trump's going to run a third term. When Steve Bannon threw that out there and then Trump started to talk about it jokingly, he's litmus testing people. He's seeing how much people will be able to put up with. And so when Elon Musk goes on to Joe Rogan and he drops this insane idiot idea that Social Security is the Ponzi scheme, they're litmus testing the society to be like, okay, let's see. Would they be able to put up with this? This is how these things work. It's not a hot take. It's cold as fuck.
This is the same lie. They repeat the same lie every single day because they think if they repeat it enough times, all of a sudden the fucking morons are going to listen and believe it.
That's your whole platform. You literally started this video saying she was worth $30 million, which is not true, which is why it's not true. That's why your energy has shifted since your last video. That's not true. Your entire platform is doing that. What are you talking about?
This is literally by retards, for retards. All 7 swing retards will definitely swing to the left after this one. You look like a giant asshole, I'm not gonna lie. They never cut Medicaid. They never cut Social Security. They say this every single time. That didn't.
Well, it's because conservatives are constantly trying to cut Medicare and Medicaid. This is something that they historically do. They're the party of cutting down welfare. And you could say, hey, I don't like welfare. That's fine. But why lie about them not wanting to, like, them cutting welfare? I don't understand.
Happen. This is just fake news. The only part of Social Security they gutted was Social Security payments going to 360-year-old dead people.
That is literally just factually incorrect. Like, this is the thing with you people it's like we live in a deranged lunacy fucking crazy world where you guys hear outrageous claims and you don't go, that's not true. Like, there's a cutoff. Social Security is cut off at 115. In extremely rare cases. This is literally part of it. So in the extremely rare case where benefits are paid to people over 100 years old, SSA has a policy to stop payments at age 115. Right? Just in case there's stuff lagging in the system. But outside of that, nobody that's dead, or excuse me, the overwhelming majority of dead people are not getting payments. Are there some shit slipping through the cracks? Probably, right? We saw Shameless. You know what I mean? I'm sure that there are some people engaging in fraud. Is it widespread? Absolutely not. This is a lie. It's a lie to justify trying to target Social Security. Elon Musk already called it a Ponzi scheme. He wants to get rid of it. It's a safety net for people who didn't save enough money, a lot of them which are poor, and some of them make bad financial decisions. Sure, if you want to criticize that, that's be my guest. I have no problem with you criticizing it. Stop lying about it. Stop lying about it. Okay? Stop lying about it. Especially conservatives. Why? Like, especially conservatives. Stop lying about it. You know what I mean? Especially this guy. You guys know he's an Israeli Jew, right? Like, you guys aren't supposed to like Jews. I am a Jew too, so you can't like me. But this guy that's spouting disinformation is an Israeli Jew. All right, stop letting him be one of your fucking thought leaders, getting hundreds of thousands of views per video, spouting idiot political disinformation. It's embarrassing. Stay consistent, okay? Start hating us again. Keep hating us. I love myself.
That probably voted for Biden.
In order for him to pay for his own tax cuts.
True.
Pay for tax cuts, okay? That's fucking retarded. In fact, if you
it is that, but it seems to be what's happening.
Actually care about being realistic, the class in America that benefited most off of these tax cuts are the middle class.
Okay, I get it. We're moving on. The new tax proposals are like increased taxes on everybody except for rich people, no? Yeah, there's a potential of increased taxes on like the lower and middle class. I do think that there's something to keep in mind is we're about to get tax fucked up the ass because of these tariffs. Just to be clear. So I'm a little more concerned with how ass blasted we're about to get be from all these tariffs that are going to drastically increase the prices of goods. So I think that's probably something to keep in mind. They're definitely raising our taxes.
The class that people like AOC, the fucking woke socialist people, they're supposed to be fighting for the middle class. But the number one most benefited group from the Trump tax cuts are the middle class.
Cool. By sheer volume, sure. Here's the thing, man. We're about to get tax swept on all these tariffs. You can conservatives can no longer be the party of like reduced taxes. We understand this, right? When you're implementing, taxes or tariffs of 10, 25, even 40, 60, some of these are extraordinarily high in different countries, from imports from other countries, you're increasing my taxes, flat taxes. I could afford it because I make good money. You probably can't. So it kind of sucks for you conservatives who just voted against your best interests. By the time, I don't know what to tell you. You're fucked. You're fucking yourself, which I guess they do like to do with big dildos. That's why they hate gay people so much, because they're actually closeted homosexuals. But yeah, you don't get to be the party of taxes anymore, like tax cuts, because you guys are. This is probably the biggest tax increase that any president I've ever implemented. No, it's a massive taxes on the consumer. We're fucked.
Every economist says this. This isn't like my opinion.
And B,
every economist says this.
Own
class, the middle class. But the number one most benefited group from the Trump tax cuts are the middle class.
So just to be clear, the middle class as a whole has received more money, because there's a lot more middle class people. But proportionality wise, people that are the top 5% earners and up are receiving the best tax cuts, especially since they don't need that extra money. Okay, there is a diminishing returns on money. Okay, every dollar after the first dollar you've made is worth less to you, because your cost of living will stay the same. You could live above it if you want, but you don't have to. So your first $10,000 is more valuable than your second $10,000. They're all valuable. By the time you're at $300,000, the next $10,000 is almost meaningless. It could be better off going to somebody that doesn't have $10,000, right? It's just the way that we operate. And so you don't need big tax cuts for corporations and fucking rich people at all. So because a lot of middle class people got money back, doesn't mean that they are the highest benefiters in general. The way of looking at that is stupid. And if you just cut taxes for the middle class, it would have been fine. But they didn't. They wanted to give it to rich people who are already hoarding enough wealth because jobs are disappearing. Specifically, jobs being lost to technology, displacing jobs and driving down wages.
Every economist says this. This isn't like my
That's not true, by the way. That's his interpretation of the information.
opinion.
Not every economist says this. he's just saying that. He's just decided that's true. We're doing it, guys.
And B, his own $1 billion in private federal contracts. This guy takes billions.
He's also lost a crazy amount of money by angering his prime consumer base for Teslas.
Okay.
Which were liberals that cared about electric cars.
And billions of your tax dollars, of your public funds.
Yeah, I didn't want my tax dollars and my public funds going to pay for Swahili arm wrestling and vagina tickling.
You're an Israeli Jew. What the fuck are you talking about? You live in Israel. This guy lives in Israel. Why are you talking about? What is he saying? What is he talking about? Holy shit.
A lot of tech talks about themselves as tech, but they're really just defense contractors. They're the new Boeing. They're the new Lockheed Martin. They
probably a level of truth to this. We do most of our fighting on the internet, basically.
Are robbing us of the tiny slivers of what we have left in.
This is like blatant fear-mongering. None of this is true.
Not really. Power is being like taken away from the middle class every day with money.
Like, do you understand what's even going on?
You don't.
Do you understand how insane this is, this whole speech?
Our collective public social safety net in order to get billion-dollar defense contracts. Because here's the thing. You want to hear another interesting fact?
Yeah, I love facts.
You could fire every single federal worker,
all right, cool
and
fact.
It would still be something only like 4% of the federal budget.
Is that true? This is actually true. It's between 4 and 6%, but it's actually true. Just to be clear, these are federal workers. They're not military personnel or postal workers. This is civilian. But still, I'm surprised it's so low. Even factoring them in, I imagine it's not going to be significantly higher. But still, I'm surprised.
So is she saying that we shouldn't save money because we're not saving all the money? Is that her argument?
No, her argument is that the majority of our money goes to big businesses for them to do things for the government. And that firing federal workers is not the right way to go when it comes to trying to save money. Especially when you're firing inspector generals whose job it is to audit the government and have saved us money.
Truly the socialist maneuver we've all wanted to hear. Every
he's so stupid. It's incredible.
businessman collectively agrees with this incredible statement. Yes, huge dub. If you could save 4% of your income, why do it? It's only 4%. Yeah, explain to me how on earth did AOC...
Are you saying we should fire all federal workers? This guy's stupid? I don't understand.
Make $20 million in 4 years in Congress with
This is a lie.
brain like this.
Where's all the rest of it going?
What does that even mean? Oh my god, she's insane.
If you actually wanted...
The rest of it goes to non-employees. I don't understand what he's having such... Why does he have such a fucking mental disability?
Go after waste, fraud, and abuse,
Right.
You would go after defense contractors.
That makes sense.
But
He is going against defense contractors too. He's actually
Which one?
going against all of these fucking different groups.
Which one? Which one is that? So there are a couple of small players that they have hit inconsistently, but they haven't gone after any big players when it comes to defense spending. And defense is like our #1 biggest expenditure. So what do you mean we're not going after them at all? What are you talking about? You're just talking. You're just saying things. They don't even touch the military industrial complex. And that's where the fraud is probably the most rampant when it comes to our military spending. So what do you mean? Why is this guy such a fucking cum guzzler for the military? I don't understand.
Like, there was this a pretty hilarious discussion with Bill Maher. Bill Maher,
Oh,
very
yeah?
liberal, very anti-Trump, and he wrote
Bill Maher is a pussy, Trump guzzling bitch. I don't know what you're talking about.
an entire skit about why isn't Elon Musk going after defense contractors. And the day before he actually went on live television to talk about it, Elon Musk announced that he was going after defense contractors, and he had to rewrite the entire show for the next.
Whoa, he announced he was going to do it. Wow, it's crazy because like they're really not. They're not going after any of the big players. You know what one of the biggest players is though? Apparently the X program is pulling in billions annually, and that's one of the big players. It's fucking crazy. He's not going after them. Didn't he fire inspector generals that were investigating the like him in general? What are you talking about?
Next day. That's just a fun fact in case you were curious. Like, it's unbelievable watching people flounder like this.
the problem is,
that 4% of the federal budget was actually my bank account. So this is pretty fucked up, allegedly, in my opinion. That was a joke.
those are the guys who are making
dude, he's so scared. He's so afraid to just push this lie about her net worth. There's something scaring Nux about this. It's funny.
The money off of cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
No, there are no cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. All right. Anyway, so now that the retard is done tarding around, I felt like
that's it. Okay.
There's some other important details for the world to see.
What are we gonna see? We're gonna watch them have a okay.
So there has been a beef going on. Right? This is not a new clip. This is a relatively old clip. It's a couple months old. I wanted to show this to you because
a couple of months. What?
it'll be incredibly important in regards to the context of the rest of the video, because AOC is doing everything in her power to make sure that illegal immigrants stay in the country. She is protecting her illegal immigrants. She is allegedly illegally giving advice to illegal immigrants to avoid and evade ICE agents trying to deport them, which is fucking retarded. All right, this is Believe All Women over here saying that we want to keep the rapists in the country. Hell yeah, big dub, huge W.
This is 5 years old. This is 5 years old. Right, this is the question. It's 5 years ago. 5 years old. Somebody was asking about this and fucking... It's 5 years... When you talk about a couple of months ago, it's 5 years old. What, 5 years ago, you were... 5 years ago, you were having your friends review lolicon porn for stream. Are we going to hold you to that standard? 5 years ago, you were using Shadowman lolicon porn art as your introductions, as your thumbnails for your videos. Are we going to hold you to that standard 5 years ago? That's crazy. It's interesting that you want people to forget that. You're an Israeli Jew, just saying, I love Jews, but your audience doesn't, that used to review lolicon porn and put it in your thumbnails for a living, and you want people to forget about that, but you don't want people to forget about this fucking cringe clip from 5 years ago? That's so interesting. What an interesting standard. What an interesting standard we're setting ourselves to.
So, I wanted to show you this clip because this clip started off a generational beef. One of my favorite beefs of all time, bro. This is better than any WWE beef you've ever seen in your life. All right, no YouTuber beef has ever been quite as based as Tom Homan versus AOC. Except for maybe Kanye West versus the Jews. That one's pretty great. But anyway, this Kendrick versus Drake has got nothing on the wall versus...
Are you the Drake?
AOC.
Which includes family separation.
The same as with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Yeah, that's right. Damn.
Well, the difference is if you're deporting them, that's kind of an issue, no?
Damn.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their...
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested...
True, but your kid stays in the United States and you inevitably go back there. You don't get deported, so there is a higher separation there. You can acknowledge that fact, whether you agree or disagree.
To the father for domestic violence, I separate that...
Mr. Holman, with all due respect...
He's literally spitting right now. Kendrick versus Lamar, the greatest beef. Shut up, Chad! Alright, so, no, but she's getting destroyed. She's like, why would you deport the illegal immigrant rapist? But the illegal immigrant rapist has a child, and...
What are you talking about? Why are all illegal immigrants rapists to this guy? I'm sure some of them are. But what are you fucking talking about? I just don't get it. Why can't you just be like, yeah, you know what? It's not good to have a bunch of illegal immigrants here. Why do they all have to be rapists? We're just talking about regular old fucking people that are here for a better life. We understand they shouldn't be here, but like, let's chill the fuck out. They don't have to be goddamn rapists. I don't understand why everything has to be so inflated every 5 seconds. Okay.
Tom Homan is like, wait a second, hold on, let me get this straight. If I arrest a non-illegal immigrant rapist, isn't that also separating him from his child? And you know what her response is? The Democrat classic. Ree!
Well, they're also talking about deporting them, right? So that would separate them from their children. That's the point, but...
Ree! No! That's not how the law works! Ree!
Legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
He's talking about illegal immigrants.
Well, no, this is them talking about legal asylum seekers. So...
Nice job moving the goalposts.
But you guys don't really know what an asylum seeker is. You guys think they're all illegal immigrants. That's why you guys are having a fucking shit meltdown all the time.
Retard. He really puts the re in retard.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation of 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want
That's not what he's talking about.
to seek asylum,
That is what they're talking about.
to go through the port of entry, do the legal way.
True.
The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
Okay.
So should
Yeah, so they're legal asylum seekers. I don't understand why we're having a big contestment. You could just say you could literally just be like, oh, well, these people, maybe they're taking advantage of the system coming in the way that they are. Oh, okay, cool. Why do you have to be so weird?
Yeah, it's over, guys. It's over. She's dead. She's cooked. It's over. It's done. The wall destroyed her.
She's cooked from a clip from 5 years ago, back when he was looking at lolicon porn for content.
Anyway, this was the beginning of a generational beef. Every time this comes up, the wall and AOC are battling. Now, AOC, to put it in perspective, is going to be running for president in 2028. She is one of the front runners right now in the Democratic Party. I would say top 3 Democrats likely to run in 2028.
Who are the other ones you think? Probably, maybe her, Gavin Newsom. Probably the 2 big ones so far that are positioning themselves. Cory Booker is going to try to run. I don't really see him winning. Kamala's obviously going to try to win. I mean, she should start getting to campaigning now. Trump campaigned through his entire presidency. You might as well start now, but...
Maybe top 5. I think she's easily top 5, probably top 3. In my opinion, the most likely candidate right now to run in 2028.
You just said that her career was over. What are you talking? He's so inconsistent.
That all said, that's why we got to cook here. We got to make the AOC is any % fuck franchise. We're just getting started.
Okay.
We're just getting started, boys. So she recently went on an entire tour talking about fight oligarchy. The oligarchy are the rich people that are controlling the government. They've got billionaires in the government, specifically bad billionaires. We have
there are a lot of billionaires controlling the government. That should concern you.
Good billionaires paying for our shit, but we don't mind because they're good billionaires. So I'm very unhappy about their billionaires, but I very much like our billionaires. The irony of the fight oligarchy slogan, not only does 90% of their constituents not have any idea what that actually is supposed to mean because it's a retarded tagline, but also...
So I don't know why you're so stupid. It's just the concept that a bunch of rich people are running the government in an oligarchy. Oligarchy is just when like a select few people, elites, run the government, which is kind of how our system works, especially when we have lobbyists paying for people.
You are the party of the oligarchy. The billionaires have been funding the Democrats forever, way longer than ever.
Billionaires fund both sides. I don't know what you're talking about, but there's a little bit of a difference because that was still a problem. Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. That's literally looking through our spending and lying about how much we're spending on different things and like lying about the amount and how there is waste, fraud, and abuse. Lying about people getting Social Security that are dead in some mass quantity. And they're the ones dictating like our spending moving forward. What are you talking about?
Ever funding the Republicans. So, anywho, important to note, this was what she had to say on her speech.
We already looked at this.
We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us.
Oh, she said fart, dude.
Yeah, so basically, she needs a Democratic Party that farts harder for them too. It's very important to note.
Does he do like one new thing and then talk about old shit?
Very true and real. We must have a Democratic Party that farts harder for us as well. So as you can see, obviously her fight oligarchy tour did a fantastic job.
VTubers shouldn't be allowed to give political opinions. True, I agree with that.
The issue with AOC is that she's not a regular Democrat. She is like a mega leftist, actual socialist, super woke. All right, bro.
She believes in universal health care. Like, you can sit here and you can pretend all you want, but she's pretty much a moderate in any other Western country. But okay.
She will play and star in the next Snow White of the Seven Genders. It's going to be amazing. But don't worry, guys, because they claimed that fantastic news, everybody. Look at them. Look at them there with all the people behind them on their fight oligarchy tour. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Look at all these people. That's a lot of people. Oh.
All right, we're going to pretend that it's okay.
Oh my God. Look at that. Bernie Sanders. The video speaks for itself. 34,000 people.
Right. We saw people contest that there wasn't as many as 34,000 people. And then we already talked about this in our last video about how this is just like a silly misinformation. It doesn't prove that there's a conspiracy here. It mostly just proves that, hey, people who go to, people who show up to rallies show up to a lot of rallies because they like doing it. Just like people who like Burger King show up to Burger King a lot. I guess, okay, cool.
Out in Denver, largest political rally there since 2008. So this was a lie. It actually wasn't 34,000 people because they tracked the GPS data, and that was called astroturfing. They lied. It wasn't 34,000.
Okay, so this isn't confirmed. You can say that it's a supposed lie, but this one's not confirmed. You need to be really careful, Nux, because you're pushing a lot of disinformation, okay? And I'll get in contact with my Ethan Klein, and we will fuck you up the ass. And I know you'll like it, so we're gonna... I would say... be careful, Nux, okay? Just be careful. You know, you're already reeling back on the AOC lie. Maybe you should reel back on this one too. It's not confirmed. You might get in a lot of trouble, buddy. This is the season of suings. It's the season.
It was 20,000. It also suspiciously, a whopping 84% of those devices showed up to 9 or more other protests, including Antifa, BLM, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian demonstrations.
Yeah, there's no way to like actually know that based on the way that you get the tracking data. So unless these companies were infringing on the privacy of these people, there's no way to get definitive data about this. This is just like an assumption. So that this doesn't come from any factual source. It is a Twitter source, which just means nothing.
And Kamala Harris campaign stops. 30% of the people went to 20 or more of these rallies. Guys, the playbook hasn't changed. They bought a crowd. They paid these people, allegedly, to come.
There it is. You like that? You know, Nux, just a little advice. Just because you say allegedly after speaking in a way that asserts that this is a fact doesn't mean that you're legally protected. You should know this. You're Jewish. You should know that. You should be a good lawyer.
Come to these rallies, okay? Oh my god, it's an unbelievable, unexpected turnout. I can't believe 34,000 people came. Turns out only 20,000 people came, and it turns out they paid for those people to come. 84% of these people were protest hoppers. It's literally rent a crowd.
Bro, when did I call him a pedophile? What are you talking about? I never called Nux a pedophile. I said that he's gay, and he used to look at Lolicon for his content with his friends. We watched him and Mudahar look at weird shit. What are you talking about? When did I call him a fucking pedophile? What do you mean?
So anyway, I thought it was very important to bring all this together. I think it's very fun, very cool personally. These people are all retarded, and AOC is currently so cooked, I felt like it would be important to do this. So this was actually requested me to watch by someone in my audience. They said, this guy, Nate Friedman, went and exposed a giant migrant crisis specifically in AOC's district in New York. A lot of people don't know this because everyone thinks that AOC is just some cringe, mega woke TikToker. But in
okay.
reality, she's also retarded. She is literally running around, fucking around, talking about how illegal immigrants are great while her district is crumbling, talking about how she's
You showed us a clip from 5 years ago.
fighting for Medicaid.
And just to be clear, pretty much all the illegal immigrants inside of New York are people who are here on overstayed visas. So, yeah. Also, okay.
Her district is, kicking out 100,000 old people from old age homes. She's
That's not true, but okay.
yapping around, freaking out. Trump is a dictator, and Elon is unelected and unconstitutional, and how dare and tax the rich. Meanwhile, she's rich off, relatively suspicious methods.
Okay, so her net worth is not even close to $1 million, but okay.
So I wanted to look at what her district is doing right now, because realistically, this is a very fun downfall.
What a bunch of brown people are doing, they're living. Like, who gives a shit?
Subscribe for more downfalls, of course. As you know, I will be here. And goddamn, she's actually 120% cooked.
This is Jackson Heights, deep
Yay.
inside AOC's district. These are illegal immigrants selling food on the street, and
How do you know that they're illegal immigrants? How do you know that they're illegal, though? That's my question.
that's a group of prostitutes.
How do you know that?
What? Wait. In this one image, you have illegal immigrants and prostitutes.
How do you know that? I'm just wondering, how do you know that they're illegal immigrants and that they're prostitutes? What makes you think that? Is there any proof of this claim? Or are we just assuming that a brown person is illegal and an Asian person is a prostitute?
That's crazy.
Illegal immigrants selling food on the street, and that's a group of prostitutes.
How do you know? Did you fuck them? Like, I don't understand. How does he know?
What a glorious presidency indeed. AOC is really gonna fix the country. I mean, she can't fix her district, but she's gonna fix the country. Isn't that illegal? Yes. But you know who doesn't care?
I just need to be like absolutely clear. I don't know why I didn't call this out sooner. You are aware that like her job is to work on federal laws being passed, right? Like she's in the House of Representatives. She's not a she's locally elected, but she's locally elected to represent her district to the federal government. You understand this, right? Like she's not somebody. She's not like she's not somebody that's like a mayor or a local official. It's her general job to advocate for her district federally. Like you keep saying this, but it's like it's almost like you don't live in America, and you either live in Canada, a state with universal health care, or excuse me, a country with universal health care, while calling AOC a radical leftist, even though she just wants to bring you up to par with the place that you live, or you're an Israeli Jew. In that case, your whole audience should hate you because you are Jewish and lived in Israel for a while. So I don't really see how I don't really see what's going on here. I don't really see how you are even close to, what are you, like, you're an idiot. You just have no idea. You're just talking. You are wildly politically uninformed, sitting here talking about shit you have no idea about. The fuck are you on about? What the fuck is this?
AOC, because the law is something you play jump rope with. Trump is breaking the law by deporting illegal immigrants, according to her, because some random butt-fucking judge in the middle of fucking nowhere that was, elected by President Obunga said that he's not allowed to do it. A judge...
Obunga? Okay. I'm assuming he would just say it's all memes and he's not trying to be racist, but...
said it, goddammit. How could Trump go against a judge? I mean, he is the president of the United fucking States.
Just to be clear, the judges were like, hey, you have to just prove that these people are here illegally. Right? Like, we got rid of people with, like, legal protections in America. At least one person with a legal protection. was kicked out. These people deserve due process to prove that they are the criminals that you're claiming that they are.
America literally following the law, but a judge said he can't do it. You see, Trump shouldn't be running for a third term. If Trump really wanted to gain more power, he should just become a small district Awanga appointed judge. I feel like that would give him infinite power. He would actually become the next Palpatine if that shit happens. So, she's furious at Trump for this, but meanwhile, this is what her district is up to.
And there's about 10 police cars surrounding just this one block. AOC is a national celebrity, once a bartender and now a congresswoman with 4 million followers.
And even more dollars than followers.
She just toured the country promoting her
No. Objectively, no. Good job there, Nux.
agenda, but what's really happening back home? So I came here to see how voters truly feel. Welcome back to the Nate Friedman Show. Tell me about this neighborhood.
Right,
you live here?
Before, like 8 years ago, yes, I live in that area.
Yeah.
It's good. Now it's like too much people bad.
Too many bad people. This guy moved out of his neighborhood because of too many bad people. Oh my god, this is the first guy he bumped into. There is no way.
I live close to the city. It's a shithole. I'm not going to say it's not. I just need to point something out, right? You have to have a mental deficiency to think that on the street content means that this is the first person you bumped into, right? Like, yeah, it needs to be better, and I'm sure that there are different ways that we can achieve that. It's probably complicated. It is complicated. But when anybody does on the street content, you need to be very suspicious of the way that they portray information, because usually they'll find a group and try to make them look bad. So it's the same thing when they go to MAGA rallies to make MAGA look bad. They pick the stupidest people from there. Same thing as when they go to, like, you know, pro-choice rallies, they find the stupidest people there and they put them out there. And so just on the fact, on the idea that you think that the first person he shows in his video is the first person he talks to, shows me that there is such a cognitive non-existence here that you shouldn't be having an opinion. You are one of the sheep that falls for it. That's who you are and what you are, fundamentally speaking. There's no reason to respect anything else that you have to say, taking on the street content as some kind of absolute fact. You're an idiot. This proves that you're a fucking idiot. You have zero capacity to think for yourself.
Dude, I mean,
This is insane.
we all know why she's actually keeping all these fucking illegal immigrants here, right?
Why do you think that?
Like, I don't want to
Explain that. Why do you think that?
mince words here. This is very obvious. There are 449,000 registered voters that couldn't perform jury duty because they weren't citizens in California.
What? Just to be clear, this is California. That's number one. Number two, this number of registered voters, I just need people to understand this. This is something that you need to understand. A lot of them are legally here. They're just not citizens. Now, I don't know if you guys understand that, especially in a very big tech state like California that uses a lot of like H-1B visas to try to get labor from other countries to come over here. We have a discussion about that. And I am not able to find the statistics of how many of those people are legal versus non-legal, just to be clear. But you're insinuating all of them are illegal. They're not. A lot of these people are here on legal visas. They're allowed to be here. They're allowed to vote because of that. So you're insinuating all these people are illegal immigrants. They're not. Some of them are. Some undocumented immigrants are, they would be illegal. But they're able to vote generally because they still live within the system. They get Social Security cards to pay, taxes so they could be part of the country. But okay. Also, just to be clear, you cannot vote under any circumstance, to my understanding, in federal elections if you're an illegal immigrant. You can vote in local elections, though, in some states like New York and California. But the insinuation here is that AOC wants a bunch of illegals to come to her state, even though they're referencing California, so that people will vote for them. But that's a federal election. So she can't get voted on by illegal immigrants. Because it's a federal election. We're just, again, he's just making things, he doesn't understand. Why are you guys letting a non-American have conversation about American politics? It doesn't make any sense. This is insufferably fucking stupid.
But they're registered voters, 500,000 of them, all right? There are 500,000, literal, 500,000 registered voters that aren't citizens that couldn't legally vote.
Okay.
How insane is that?
Depends on if they're legal versus illegal or why they're illegal. I imagine that most people that are illegal immigrants in California are probably people that stay on overstayed visas, so they were able to register to vote legally, and they overstayed their visa, which is bad. They didn't re-up it, whatever happened infrastructure-wise. It's wrong. But you're insinuating that it's this huge issue.
It's a pretty great question, I think, honestly.
Not really.
Holy shit. Well, honestly, that's why they want the illegal immigrants there, because they'll all vote. They will all vote for her.
They can't. They literally cannot vote for her. It's a federal election, you stupid fuck. You cannot vote for federal elections as an illegal immigrant. You can only vote for local elections. Okay.
Bad people?
Yeah.
What are they doing out here? Why did it get so bad?
Because a lot of gangers.
Gang violence?
Yeah.
True.
When did that start happening?
Maybe like 2 years ago.
Oh, Biden, best president. He did so well. We love Biden. What a goat.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's when illegal immigrants started coming in, right?
Yeah.
You think the illegal immigrants are coming in 2 years ago? Okay.
Okay.
Especial to Venezuela.
Okay, so the
Oh, no. Oh, no. How does she keep winning in New York? Well, you see, the Venezuelan Cuco Salamanca votes for her, baby. Hell yeah, dude.
They can't vote for federal elections, you idiot.
Venezuelan migrants are committing crimes here.
Yeah, really, it's true.
Okay.
It's difficult to even contemplate, but in 2023, there were 2.4 million encounters at the southern border. The system was completely overwhelmed, and among those who slipped through were members of Venezuela's most dangerous gang, Tren de Aragua. Now, many of them set up shop in Jackson Heights.
Bro, there's no fucking way that these terrorists from Venezuela jump into the country and go straight to AOC's district. Oh my god. You can't make this up. I'm telling you, you cannot make this up. They're like, oh my god, I saw this one lady on TikTok. She's great. She's fighting for illegal immigrant pedophile rapists. Let's go straight to her home turf. And everyone's like, fuck yeah, baby. We'll just set up shop there.
The neighborhood with the highest percentage of immigrants in all of New York City.
Dude, how?
Because it's a poor neighborhood and people tend to segregate themselves. How? People self-segregate. Like, there's Chinatowns and shit. Because people like to stay around people that they're comfortable with. Okay.
How? She left out warm milk and cookies for these motherfuckers. What is going on? Her district is the worst for illegal immigration in the entire city. How do you fail? New York is like massive.
Do you think that, like... do you think that... If that claim is true, that was like that before she got in. Like, we've had illegal immigrants. The only reason that there was a surge after COVID was because COVID shut things down and it caused a bunch of people to come in as a backlog.
How do you have the worst district? Oh my god.
I don't know. Maybe Trump should have actually allowed conservatives, Republicans that wanted to vote for this, deal with the border with a bill that would have given more resources to it and tightened up asylum-seeking processes. But Trump said, no, don't do that. We don't want to solve that problem or else I won't get elected.
They could blend in, access city resources, and wreak havoc. Crime data reported directly from the precinct shows felony assaults going up 46.9%.
Dog, this is...
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Jackson Heights being violent, that's fucking crazy.
This is crazy. I mean, if I was an illegal terrorist immigrant, I would also probably go to,
Legal terrorist immigrant.
to AOC's district in New York. I mean, holy shit. They fucking teach you.
What year was this? I'm trying to like see the information, but he only has a very small amount. I'm going to assume this is during COVID. Is this as compared to the same time? Oh, it's 2024. Maybe it's 2024. I don't know the specific. Okay, maybe there was an uptick. I would like to see more of this.
Evade law enforcement there and everything. That's insanity. 46.9% increased, and everyone's just like, hell yeah, dude.
So just to be clear, this isn't for Jackson Heights specifically. It's for like the entirety of, I think it's northern Queens, if I'm right about that. Yes, the entirety of northern Queens, and it's only a small period of time, which doesn't reflect like a long-term negative impact of this. So for all we know, there's a general trend that during, what was this, in June, I think the specific time was? I think it's June where this happens, is a 28-day period in June. It's possible that crime ticks up in warmer months because people go outside more. There's no really precise data on this. That seems to be like a little bit of a misleading claim. Part of it can be because of the original claim of this guy's video, which is that there seems to be illegal immigrants there and prostitution. So that seems there's like high crime areas in northern Queens that they seem to be cracking down on. This is like the law enforcement seem to be cracking down on here for sure. But it's nice to get like a full context on these fucking claims.
Hell yeah, dog. We'll just let it happen. And then she actually supports these people and she gives them
yes, okay.
tips on how to evade law enforcement. Come on, dude.
From 2023 to 2024 in Jackson Heights. Now, while AOC told citizens that...
That's not the whole year. That's like a month of the year. He's not referring to an entire year. I don't know what he's talking about.
Claims of crime going up was just hysteria.
Bro.
Can you show us her saying that?
Dude. How? How do you do this?
Well, he did just lie about the portrayal of information, so that might have something to do with it.
It is a objective fact that crime went up 47%. And she's like, bro.
Right, but he said the whole year. This was only for like 1 month out of the year, which leads me to believe that if you're going to press that information, that was specifically for July, excuse me, it wasn't June, which is a warm month. It was just for July, and saying it's the whole year while isolating one of the probably higher crime months in general across the country because it's warmer and crime tends to go up and it's warmer, leads me to believe that you guys are portraying information deceptively for a reason to contribute to this hysteria.
Oh, that's just hysteria talking. The real
yeah, probably.
problem is Elon Musk canceling our funds to surprise gay sex.
So true, King.
In Libya.
Okay.
Atheism in Nepal.
Taxpayer money was quietly flowing to shelter, feed, and enable the very criminals
Atheism in Nepal. Okay.
causing the chaos.
There we go. Now that's...
Sorry, just fucking...
Taxpayer money was quietly flowing to shelter, feed, and enable the very criminals causing the chaos.
Probably, because they're probably legal asylum seekers.
There we go. Now that's a good use for taxpayer dollars.
Probably, yeah.
Hell yeah, boy. Hell yeah.
You want them to just run around the street or what?
Dude, I want my tax dollars going to shelter illegal immigrant gang members. Oh, factos.
We didn't just allow
not all of them are gang members, but okay.
all these gangs to come.
We funded them.
We funded it.
Yeah.
When did you come to the country?
Oh, I come to this country 1995.
I see, like, behind me, I think there are prostitutes. Does that happen here a lot?
Yeah, that one happened maybe
He knows. He's fucking them. That's why he's in that wheelchair, dude. He's taking a break.
like too much women like that maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, and you see...
Oh my god, it all happened at the same
Greg, get the fuck out of here. Okay, I know that's been prostitutes there much longer than that.
time. Oh my god, dude. They just fucking opened the borders. They just flooded these people in. Oh my god, I have people in my chat defending AOC's take because AOC is talking on a national level. With all due respect, on a national level, I don't want illegal immigrant rapist pedophiles in the fucking country either. This
Okay.
does not help your case, especially...
I don't think it helps your case when you decide that all of them are illegal rapists and pedophiles. None of them have this valid claims, and that they're all sexual predators. Probably doesn't really help us very much, bud.
Coming from the lady that can't clean her own backyard. Her own district is a living example of why she's a retard. What are you talking about?
See that a lot.
Yeah.
Because right behind me, they shut the door as soon as they saw me with the camera. Do you know that this spot, they're here?
I know the spa. I know the spa because I see it, but I never go inside. I know the lady go over there.
Prostitution is illegal in New York City, so why are we still seeing it here?
Because
people want to fuck prostitutes. And it's always been here, unfortunately, because there's a demand for fucking prostitutes.
they're illegal in the country, probably, and because they need to make a living, and because they're in a district where
They're probably also sex trafficked. They're Nux. They're probably the victims of people forcing them to have sex for money.
Congresswoman of the district likes them more than she likes the actual citizens of the country.
Okay, if you say so.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of wild that they're fighting on behalf of the fucking, the people themselves.
What?
How come AOC is not making this a top priority? She's not even talked about it.
I have never heard her talk about any of the shit that goes on in her own district. The fact that I only hear her talking about how evil Trump...
I don't know. Maybe she's really dishonest. Maybe it's because people would look at this information and decide that we should get rid of all illegal immigrants and not be like intelligent about it, about a bunch of poor people that are disenfranchised in their country trying to seek legal asylum, sometimes not in the best ways. Why did Trump block the bill that would have helped solve this problem under Biden? Why did he pressure conservatives to block this bill that they proposed that would help the border? Why don't you ask that question? Like, I don't understand. Ask the fucking real question. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Trump is, and the oligarchy, and Elon is a billionaire, and he's coming for your social for your benefits.
Once.
Yes.
Community leaders in Queens have even come forward saying that these brothels are 2 blocks away from schools. And yet, I'm still seeing them out here. AOC and the governor are refusing to let state police work with ICE to deport criminal migrants.
Pretty weird, huh?
Not necessarily. Pretty sure fundamentally, and I want to like refresh on this because this was from like 2019, 2020, is her issue is with the way that ICE enforces their, engages in enforcement, putting them into these different, like she calls them concentration camps. But putting people into, these holding facilities, they tend to be psychologically terrorizing, like barging into places of business or homes. So she disagrees with the way that they enact their seizures. Probably a lot of people here that live with legal family, and she's like advocating for them in some capacity. So I think it's more of just not wanting to work with them because of their tactics, which is probably a level of truth. I think she calls it like a broken arm of like a Bush era. Okay, maybe that's why. It's probably why. You know, she's fucking Hispanic, so probably a lot of Hispanic people, even legal immigrants, are upset with the way ICE engages because it's scary. It's probably the reason why. I mean, I agree we shouldn't have a bunch of illegal immigrants here, especially get rid of the violent ones, but unfortunately our economy is dependent on illegal immigrants that are willing to do jobs Americans aren't.
How could such a thing become political? Not only that,
I think I just explained it.
AOC helped illegal immigrants stay one step ahead of ICE. Take a look.
Holman was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice
Well, she was giving them legal advice, no?
to all of my constituents.
Which are illegal. Oh, miss me with that, bro.
I don't know, man. You know, I don't know. I think I'm just a little bit different from this, like a Jewish Canadian American who pretends he understands politics while doing a VTuber face on stuff. I'm a middle-class American, man. My mother worked at fucking White Castle growing up. A lot of black people, a lot of Hispanic people, a lot of friends. And, you know, I know there are illegal immigrants here and they shouldn't be here, and I get it. But most of them are just trying to work a fucking job. And it's like, to me, it's like, oh, I understand you shouldn't be here, but I'm not going to be a snitch. I get it. I'd come here illegally too if I was fucking Hispanic, probably. It's better here than their country. Why the fuck wouldn't they come here? So, like, a fucking army of illegal immigrants could be, you know, sitting at the fucking Home Depot trying to get a goddamn job. You think I'm going to snitch on them? I don't care. It's not my fucking business. I understand, like, oh, it's legally. It's like, well, legally, I get it. But then also, we're very dependent on these people. They do jobs you don't want to do. You can't just mass deport people. Like, I'm not mentally riled up against illegal immigrants here to fucking work for a living. I'm really not focused on it. Like, I understand that there are aspects of it that are definitely a problem, right? You should come here legally. But the amount of energy that these people come at this with, where it's like, oh, this guy's been calling them all rapists, pedophiles, the whole fucking video. And it's just like, dude, I used to work with a bunch of fucking Hispanic people. They work harder than white people. And like, I don't know. To me, being American is work. If you're willing to work, I don't give a fuck. That's American culture to me. You work and you keep to yourself. I don't care. I just don't understand the anger, because most of these people are just trying to work a fucking job. They're trying to provide for their family. What happened to that? Like, what happened to that context? Just factor it in when you're like, okay, we should have illegals here. Be like, yeah, but, you know, give them a break at least. Be like, okay, they're just here to support their family. You know, like, they just want to have kids and support their kids. It's just like, what a human thing to do. God forbid we have a little bit of fucking empathy for these people. Jesus Christ. What a fucking world do we live in? Give me a goddamn break. Fucking insane.
Miss me with this shit, man. Oh my god. Oh, she's such a fucking bitch. Why are you crying for illegals and you're pushing for the conviction of, like, regular people? Like, oh my god, put on the clown makeup yourself.
The conviction? What are you talking about? What?
And let me laugh.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Yeah. I was just all of my constituents, including the ones that don't have to show ID to vote. Wink, wink.
Okay. You still have to be registered to vote, and you can't. And illegals can register to vote, but they can't vote in federal elections, which get her elected. So,
You know, I don't ask.
AOC. You know who she is?
AOC?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Do you know who that is?
No, who does that?
She's
Who's that guy? That guy a bitch.
the congresswoman of this district.
No, nothing about that.
Okay. Do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't vote for Congress. You vote for president.
Only for president.
Okay.
you should probably be a little bit more invested in your local elections. You know, like the mayor and everything. Probably get some pretty good. That's going to impact you the most. I mean, like, realistically speaking, if you're like, oh, there's a bunch of illegals here, like, it's local shit. You vote for, like, your local elections to change the rules better.
Who did you vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm hearing that. Why Trump? Why did you vote for Trump?
Because fucking New York. There's a lot of people in New York that voted for Trump. You'd be surprised, especially on Long Island.
It's like good guy to like to put in everything right.
Well, 4
Damn, that's crazy.
million
I think it's because he just is not very politically educated.
followers later, and in her own district, this guy
You can't get any worse than Nux.
I didn't even know who AOC was.
Okay.
I didn't even, like, look at it from that perspective.
That seems like his problem, isn't it? She's a federally elected, like, there's a federal election, and her job is to advocate to the federal government for her people. I don't understand why you think that they would know who she is.
But yeah.
Like, why would you expect them to, like, think that she's an active community leader? And you also asked one person who, no offense, barely spoke English. So what the fuck like, did you talk to more people?
No, these people only exist on the internet. Like, your average guy has no idea who the fuck these people are.
That's literally you.
Oh my god, imagine being so irrelevant. Bro, she literally got
Okay.
Booed by her own constituent. That's crazy.
And he voted for Trump. Now in 2016,
Obviously he voted for Trump because he's legal. He wants to get the illegal people out.
Trump got 22% of the vote in Queens. In 2024, he got 37% of.
Woo! 16% increase in votes. And that's not including the fact that, you know, there were a lot more illegal immigrants that were voting against Trump.
The vote.
You can't, illegal immigrants can't vote in federal election. He's just making stuff up. You're just talking. Also, I'm going to give you a hot fucking take. I told you I grew up around black and Hispanic people. Listen, a lot of people who are closer to religion and generally have less money, which are black and Hispanic people, not because there's anything fundamentally wrong with black or Hispanic people, it's just generally the culture when you come from a poor religious country, they don't like women as much as they like men because they're gay. No. Right? Like, I've talked to like my fucking Hispanic coworkers and they're like, oh, like they don't want to vote for a woman. They don't think that like a woman is necessarily equipped to be president, whether it's because they don't like women or because maybe they don't think that they can do the same roles. Or a lot of them will say like, I don't think other countries will respect us. It's kind of how this is, bud, you know? And so that's going to be a pretty big impact on why. Well, like, I don't even, you know, it's hot fucking take. But people with regressive politics and religious values tend to not respect women on the same way that they respect men. That's just a fact. Sorry.
Maybe, just maybe, importing criminal migrants isn't the best long-term strategy.
Well, it's really great if you want to get those illegal migrants to vote for you, but that doesn't necessarily help, you know, the other people.
They can't vote for her, but okay.
How do you guys feel about AOC?
AOC? I'm not familiar with AOC.
Alexandria.
How do they not know who she is?
Because they're asking everybody and only isolating the ones who don't know who she is.
That's awesome. Oh my god, she's getting hooed everywhere. Oh my god.
Ocasio-Cortez, she's like the congresswoman for this district.
Oh, I think this conversation is a little too smart for me. I can't lie.
No, that's fine. You selling water out here?
No, we got weed. We got
I mean, I respect that guy.
water. We got grabba, papers, everything you need, vapes, everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
So I'm seeing a lot of vendors out here. What kind of started that? You know?
I think, to be honest with you, of course, it's ambition from somebody's self, and as well as the stores and everything, the way it's going. Smoke shops are getting closed down. Stores getting closed down for weed, these shits, fucking vapes, everything, man.
This is actually a pretty nuanced problem, and AOC's district is particularly affected by it. Unlike the prostitution in her district, which she's been silent on,
why would you let her voters down like that?
she has spoken up about the explosion of illegal street vendors, but only to defend them.
No!
Her actual quote was,
No, you can't. What is going on? The law just means nothing to these people. They use it as a weapon against their enemies, but they absolutely don't give a shit. They're the most hypocritical little slime fucks I've ever seen.
I don't understand. Like, the guy made a claim without even explaining it yet because you stopped him and you just decided everything that he was saying was true. Your own source video says these things are nuanced. When you hear the claim that she's supporting illegal vendors, why don't you just look into, like, what is her rationale for the support of illegal vendors?
Don't tell people to get licenses when they haven't been given for 10 years. It's unrealistic. The answer is to let them grow, not kick them out. Ocasio-Cortez said the loud cheers.
Don't tell people to get licenses when they haven't been given for 10 years. It is unrealistic. The answer is to...
Oh, okay, well then that sounds like why. Because it's difficult to get licenses for street vending, I guess.
Let them grow, not kick them out.
God, that's crazy.
That might crack the top 10 for dumbest things a sitting member of Congress has ever said.
Why? I mean, aren't you guys all about deregulation? It's so funny because, like, this is one criticism you give her is that she's not, like, she feels like the system is overburdened and that these people should be able to, like, when it comes to permits, and that these people should be able to sell this stuff because they still do contribute to our society through buying other things and, I guess, taxes. Although not so much. Maybe that's not. No, I think I'm misreading that. They do contribute to the local economy. Through sales tax and local commerce. And so you can make the argument that that's a very conservative leaning value, and you could criticize her on that if you want to. That's probably your best criticism. I mean, it makes sense if there's overburdened vendor licenses. They're also very expensive, from my understanding. I could be wrong about that. Just, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I remember seeing like a hot dog truck guy talk about how insanely expensive it was just so that he could have like the ability to do like legal street vending. But yeah, you could criticize her for that. Why not I criticize her for, like, there's a level of hypocrisy there that if these were legal American citizens, she wouldn't probably have this perspective. Why don't you just like bring up something intelligent to criticize her for instead of just shitting and cumming your pants?
That's impressive. That is really impressive. I recently looked into the Jasmine Crockett, another absolute retard.
I'm sure that's true.
Top 5 Democratic candidates 2028. I don't know, man. The Democrats need to fucking they need to step up, bro. They need to step up. Like, they need to do better. Like, you cannot These people cannot be the people that you... They cannot be the people that are at the head of the party. Come on, guys, please.
Imagine running a legal business and then hearing that from your own representative. Now, weed became legal in New York in 2021, but the city made it incredibly difficult and expensive to open a legal dispensary. At the same time,
She's fighting for the legalization of something, but it didn't fully happen, so she's like, well, we'll just get criminals to illegally sell it and close down all the, stores from actual business owners that are legal that want to sell it.
Did you just not listen to what he said? He said it's been legalized, but it's very expensive to sell there, making it very difficult for people to break through that barrier to actually sell it. I mean, if anything, this is one of the things that's burdening New York is like insanely expensive permits, no? And like over probably too much red tape in New York. So, okay, but he just heard something different, I guess. Okay.
Hell yeah, baby. That's fighting for your team.
they let illegal shops run wild.
She's, like, I'm not even trying to like hyperbolize or anything, but she is an enemy to America. This is an enemy to every American in her district.
Why? Because what?
This is insanity. How do you give prerequisites, advantages, and free legal advice?
Have you ever bought weed before, dude? You fucking pussy loser. I have. I don't buy it legally, I'll tell you that. I mean, I don't anymore. And also, I'm kidding. But, okay. I mean, I bought it from a fucking white dude from his house, okay? I'm not really too concerned with a bunch of fucking Hispanic people selling weed on the street. I don't really give a shit.
They're the criminals. Like, what are you incentivizing? Oh my god.
You think that only, like, illegals are selling weed? Or also, who do you think is getting the weed for the illegal immigrants to sell? Like, do you understand how any of this works? If illegal immigrants are selling weed, you know who's growing it? It's probably some fucking white dude sitting in his hotel or sitting in his fucking apartment growing it and then selling it to them, and then like them selling it out more. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, where do you think this network comes from?
Thousands popped up overnight, and then a couple years later, the city finally decided to enforce the law, and more than 700 illegal cannabis shops have now been shut down.
Damn, look at
so,
that.
what is the long-term solution? Well, the city doesn't have to reinvent the wheel here. Just treat weed like they have with alcohol and tobacco.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now, a weed license costs 5 times more than a liquor license.
Yeah, that seems a little ridiculous.
Oh my god, dude. So anyone that wants to do it legally is fucked. So you know who does it? Well, it's the illegal immigrants that are not allowed to be in the country fucking anyway. So why should they even bother paying $22,000 for a weed license if they could just sell it on the street?
How did you turn this into like anti-illegal immigrant somehow? Like, I don't understand.
Who needs laws? Am I right, guys? We should just have suicidal empathy.
I think I'm burning out. This guy's a moron.
We should just be completely empathetic to the point of suicide. Illegal immigrants, they're the good guys.
Maybe you should try that, yeah.
Because in modern neo-Marxist philosophy, for whatever reason, it's just looking at the world from the perspective of the oppressed versus the oppressors.
You live in Canada. AOC's advocating for Canadian healthcare. I don't know why you keep calling her a fucking Marxist. Go live in America. I don't understand. This guy's a Canadian American. How are you calling her Marxist when her policies are, hey, let's catch up to Canada? Why do you live there then? What?
The oppressors, they're always the bad guys, and the oppressed, well, the oppressed are always the good guys. Regardless, even if they're a fucking Tren Aragua rapist pedophile, they're still the oppressed, so they're probably not so bad.
Why? I would lower the license fee from $7,000 to something like $2,000, and if people still can't afford it, so be it. Opening a weed shop isn't some human right, it's a business. Let the free market do its thing and enforce the law.
Well, his problem...
Just to be clear, if you were going to do fully free market, you wouldn't have permits. I mean, I agree with having a permit. I'm just saying, like, you can't say lower the price but still have a permit and then go free market, you know? But I guess you can, okay.
Is he thinks that she believes in the free market. She doesn't. She's a socialist. She actually wants to completely destroy the economy.
Right. Trump's doing a good job, though.
That's her goal here.
You're right. Trump's doing a great job with all these tariffs. Definitely, we're winning. You tired of winning yet, guys?
The American dream dies under socialism, and I don't think he realizes that that's exactly what she's going for.
In other words, do the exact opposite of what AOC is saying. I know you don't know who AOC is, that's fine. What about Trump or Harris? Which one did you go for?
Trump or Harris? I'm sorry, I gotta go Trump all the way, my brother.
okay.
All right, that's something that I know a little bit about, but I'm definitely ignorant on the subject. I can't lie.
cool.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least he's honest. Yeah.
Why did you lean toward Trump?
All right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the hypocrisy and the lies that come from Harris. And
Like which one specifically?
It's too much to withstand. You know.
Like which one?
Like I don't understand how you could support somebody like that. In my opinion.
Yeah, he doesn't have an answer to the question because there's like really no hypocrisy coming from her. Just to be absolutely clear. She just, that's it. There's no, a politically uneducated person, self-admittedly, is probably not the best person to ask about Trump versus Harris. So.
District is very blue. It's very blue. And I'm here to see if there might be a change, you know? Like, did you see some more folks vote for Trump than maybe they were Democrats before and then they voted for Trump?
Then I see? Yes. Then we like to see, for sure. It was amazing.
Of course he's going to see more people vote for Trump. He's a Trump supporter. He's gonna have friends that are Trump supporters. So what?
Actually, a lot of Hispanic folk voting for Trump. That's something great we like to see for sure.
Looking for my next.
Oh my god, why did that guy was like such a gentleman? That's crazy. Holy shit.
So
How did he
if he said the exact same thing, but he voted for Kamala Harris, Nux would have been shitting.
so like upstanding? I don't understand.
Interview took over an hour. Finding someone who speaks English there was actually not very easy.
You're kidding? You are shitting me, man. You are absolutely shitting me.
Who gives a fuck?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He was
I think Nux is the first time Nux has even seen a Hispanic person.
walking around for an hour trying to find someone that could speak English in New York City?
I'm sure that's true.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, America was literally one bad election from becoming Europe, god damn it. Oh my lord.
What?
Over an hour. Finding someone who speaks
Why didn't they interview her? She seems like a fine, upstanding gentleman, woman.
English there was actually not very easy.
I don't understand Bangladesh. Do you speak English?
English, no.
Espanol? Can I ask you a question for my YouTube channel?
No, sorry.
No, what do you speak? What language? English? Bangladesh?
You can see a lot of flags in Jackson Heights. There is a ton
What?
of
What do you speak? What language? English? Bangladesh?
Hold on a second.
You can see a lot of flags in Jackson Heights.
Flags. Gotcha. I misheard that one.
There is a ton of nationalism in AOC's district, just not for the
I
United
mean, I could see one on the screen. I've never seen one in Jackson Heights.
States.
Okay.
I don't understand, man. Why?
Okay, I don't like. Would you say the same thing if you saw Italian flags or Irish flags? Probably not. You don't care.
I also see shops like this that you wouldn't easily find in other areas of the city.
I mean, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with other cultures coming to America. There's nothing
You seem to have a problem with it.
wrong with them doing it, legally. Because there is actually a system for that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Is there? Holy fuck.
Man, but
Is part of that system the asylum seeking process or no?
why is there pride for in America? There is pride for every other country except for America. Come on, guys. America's awesome. It's one of the best countries in the goddamn world, I'd say.
Spiraling away from that idea. Definitely not anymore, unfortunately. We're a fucking joke now.
Like, come on, homies. I don't know, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't usually like to listen to rich people tell me how good or bad a country is, honestly. It's completely out of touch fucking morons. I'd rather listen to somebody who actually, didn't get really popular having a VTuber with a dog collar on, speaking in a fucking anime voice, talking about politics. It's just insane to me. But okay, I usually talk to regular people.
Holy shit.
Next up, I ran into this guy from Mexico who exposes something very significant about the migrant crisis, something I can't believe is actually happening. But before we talk to him, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, which is Goldco.
Whoa, you're not even going to watch the fucking advertisement for this guy? L in the chat, dude.
The streets of AOC's district.
When did you come to America?
¿Cuándo viniste acá? Yo tiene como 2 años.
Are you living in a migrant shelter or you have your own place?
No.
There's a lot of people in Manhattan and they live in migrant shelters. Did you consider living in one of those shelters?
Por ahora todavía no. Estoy bien.
I don't know what he's saying, so.
So a lot of people in those shelters, they're working and they're also living in the shelter. How come you tell yourself you don't need it? Very interesting.
Oh, porque se me hace como complicado para la aplicación y sí, ¿cómo se dice? Si
I have no idea what's being said. He's blocking the text.
esa oportunidad o no, entonces me cuesta un poco y como no sé leer y escribir, sé muy poco. Entonces para papeleos, aplicaciones, no soy bueno.
So he can't read or write in his language, which is why he's not in a migrant shelter. Now, I've been doing this for a while.
That's pretty sad, honestly. That's actually really fucking sad.
Why?
And that is a new one. If you think he's here because of asylum, keep watching. Now, the illiteracy rate is actually quite high in some parts of rural Mexico, reaching as high as 55%. So how is a man who is unable to read or write acclimating in the United States, and what does he think of AOC?
Well, he's probably doing a decent job because he's living in a Hispanic area that doesn't really care if you can speak English, and has so.
What do you do for work?
Pizzería, ayudante de cocina y preparación.
Do you know who?
That's true, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now. There isn't a single Italian pizzeria left that has Italian people making the pizza. It's all Hispanic people making the pizza in the back. That's why it tastes better.
AOC is?
¿Sabe quién es Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez? AOC? No.
Okay, she's the congresswoman.
He couldn't find a single fucking guy that knows who she is.
Of this.
He's talked to 3 people so far. He's showed us talking to 3 people with any conversation. Do you think it's possible he's seeking people out that don't know who she is so that he can make it seem like nobody cares about her and that nobody actually wants her elected?
District. Do you feel like she's doing a good job? Is this neighborhood safe and nice?
Sí, a mí se me hace sí, se está seguro, está tranquilo.
It's safe and calm. Yeah! AOC's strongest supporter. Doesn't know who she is, but hell yeah, dude.
Yo llevo 2 años y todo bien.
How have they all been here for 2 years? What is going on? What happened 2 years ago?
Se me hace bien, lugar tranquilo.
So you would vote for her?
Claro que sí.
His definition of peace is very different from most Americans. Prostitution, gang violence, and people just sitting on the sidewalk eating is a strange kind of peace. The people crossing the border and coming to AOC's district aren't exactly seeking out the American dream.
That's why.
Who's saying he's not seeking out the American dream just because he thinks that this standard, which is lower than my standard, obviously, is peaceful? Him having a different standard of like acceptability and peace doesn't mean he's not looking for the American dream. What are you talking about?
That's why you need legal immigration, because you need people to come into the country legally and want to contribute to America.
Well, just to be clear, the asylum process is a legal process.
You know, America, it's crazy. Holy shit. 800,000 non-citizens could soon be voting in New York City's elections. Well, you know, no one's surprised here.
New York.
Oh, yeah. So just to be clear, this bill is from 2021, from my understanding. What the fuck? That hasn't even taken effect, but it specifically applies to people who are here legally. They're just not citizens. So they're here on work visas, they have green cards, they have work authorizations, they're DACA recipients. I don't really see a problem here. I don't necessarily have a strong opinion either way, but if you're here legally, I don't see why you can't necessarily vote. You could disagree, but they're all here legally. So the idea is like, oh, if you're like a resident here on a work visa, you can have the ability to have an impact on the where you live. I mean, it makes sense to me. Again, if they didn't have this, it's fine too. I don't really have a strong opinion. I don't have to have a strong, I don't have to have a strong opinion on everything. But like, I'm assuming they're going to fearmonger and make it seem like these people are illegal immigrants.
Because you need people to come into the country legally and want to contribute to America. You know,
Thanks,
America, it's crazy. Holy shit.
It's crazy.
800,000 non-citizens could soon be voting in New York City's elections. Well, you know, no one's surprised here.
With New York's
what do I know?
obsession of trying to allow illegal immigrants to vote, this is concerning.
Yeah, no.
So just to be clear, that's a lie. And not only did he he just lied about that. Nux just went along with the lie. It's about people who are here legally on work visas and green cards voting. It's not a they're not non-citizen doesn't mean that you're an illegal immigrant, just to be clear. But okay.
No shit, she wants illegal immigrants in the state when illegal immigrants could vote.
They can't vote for her either way. This is for this would be local elections. It wouldn't even be for federal elections. Oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. He's so dumb.
No, duh.
Why did it go to the highest court in the state to strike down a proposition to allow illegals to vote?
They're not illegal.
Why did it go to the highest court in the
They're not illegal. They're here legally. It's fine that they shot it down, but they're not here illegally.
state to strike down a proposition to allow illegals to
they're
vote?
Not illegal.
You know, this is like, again, one of those incredibly obvious things that should absolutely have never happened. Like, again, I think that there are a couple of like incredibly hot button issues, like wildly hot button issues that I think everyone should actually agree with. Doge auditing the government is one of them. You should absolutely know.
You're a fucking idiot if you think that Doge should be auditing the government, considering how much they've been failing.
Where the fucking money in the government is actually going. Another thing is voter ID. There is no reason that people should not need to show identification when they vote. And to the point that illegal immigrants could be voting. That is enough.
So again, what's being referenced here is not even illegal immigrants being voted. It's non-citizens, people who are here legally on green cards. And it's fine that you don't want them to vote, but you're lying here unintentionally. Also, with the whole voter ID thing, I guarantee you that if these Republicans said that you would be able to have a high level of accessibility to your ID, that Democrats would be okay with it. The problem is, when it comes to this, is that there's a lot of areas that are poor, limited transportation, difficult to get to, like, you know, a DMV, incredibly slow DMV infrastructure, people who might be working at the times where it's available, they have a difficulty getting an identification. Okay? It's expensive for them. It's money that they don't necessarily have. So if you made it more accessible, they would, boom, easy peasy. Also, there's not a single real, there's no actual information that shows wide-scale voter fraud. Just because you don't have to show your identification doesn't mean that you don't have to be a registered voter. You still have to be a registered voter. These, like, do you guys understand how it works? I don't need an identification to go and vote, but I'm still a registered voter, and I have to have a social security number, and I have to be an American citizen to vote, especially for federal elections. So I show up there and I go, "This is my name. Here's," I think I give them my social security card. That's it. Okay? Like, could I be there voting for someone else? I guess. But, like, the people who are illegal aren't voting. You guys are fucking idiots.
Another one that is so obvious that there is no other perspective. Also, I guess, trans people in women's sports. Again,
what the fuck are you talking about trans people?
So obvious that shit shouldn't be allowed. Like, dude, they have biological differences. That is the reason why there are men's leagues and women's leagues in sports, is because of biological differences. It is so recognized. You got to be special.
The broken clock, dude.
Levels of retarded to be for this type of shit.
Gotcha.
And that is why, in my opinion,
says the V2. This is the guy who's telling you this, by the way. The guy who referenced the WWE before, which is like 90% of the viewer base has Down syndrome, is the one calling people the R slur. It's incredible.
The Democrats are so cooked because
cooked,
they virtue signaled too close to the sun. They woke a little too far, and their audience are comprised of an incredibly vocal 10% of retards that are fighting on these three fronts.
Hey, you want to know why Democrats have lost? Because they haven't understood what appeals to conservatives and how to counter that. All right, let me explain it to you. Conservatives, the farther right, the easier, by the way, have been raised in highly religious communities to accept fiction as fact and accept authoritarian figures telling them how things should be. That's what it is. That's what the Bible is. Okay? I know people think that God made the Bible. We made the Bible and God. That's why there's drastic shifts from the Old Testament to the New Testament, because society has changed and shifted, and what society needs changes and shifts. That's why back in the day, you had a lot of these priests that were telling you what was in the Bible. They didn't even know how to read the language. It was intentional. It's to have a level of authoritarian control. And they are not really educated in the ability to think critically. I'm not saying religious people can't think critically. What I'm saying is the closer you are to an uneducated, highly religious community, the less critical thought is going through your brain. Because the reason you don't do bad things is because God says so. It's not because you have a network of critical thinking that explains to you why you shouldn't do a bad thing based on empathy. Right? And so these are people who generally don't accept the facts of the world. They already don't accept that dinosaurs exist. They think that God must be real. Right? He might be, but they think they must be. They can't separate their logical side from their emotional, faith-driven side. Right? This is also the same party that doesn't believe vaccines are real. They don't help. Global warming doesn't help. The earth is still flat, I guess. All these different conspiracies of the world. And so as a conservative, all you have to do is confidently lie over and over and over again. And enough people just have to repeat the lie for people to go, that must be true. And when confronted with the fact, you go, no, 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 my authoritarian figure that I've been told is right said that that's not correct. Democrats haven't figured out a way to actually counter that. That's it. That's all it is. You have to just learn how to counter it. And I think part of it is like we can't actively shame conservatives like we used to. You just can't take them too seriously. You know, when they give you some stupid fucking talking point about how vaccines are real or how Russia's actually the victim, you kind of pat them on the head and be like, oh, yeah, you go off, King. And you just move on. Not a whole lot you can do. And so that's the strategy that needs to be considered. You kind of have to baby these people because they're very uncomfortable with a shifting world that really doesn't align with what they think the world is. And they get like really scared. And they're just like, this is so scary. What's a trans person? They know because they were trans when they were a kid, but they got beat for expressing it. And so that's why it's so scary to them, because they associate being gay or trans with getting violently beaten by their gay or trans father that wasn't allowed to be gay or trans, and has passed that on to them. And so we have to kind of have to consider that. Okay? You know, just say God bless. Bless your heart. God bless you. And that's what Democrats need to learn to do. Stop getting outraged by these people. It's not really worth it. Okay? Stop. It is what it is. You know, a lot of the stuff they say they don't even believe anyway. Oh, abortion is murder. Then why aren't you going out there and stopping people from doing it? Because you don't think that. You're just screaming it because you're a fucking baby. You know?
And it is absolutely insanity.
Insanity.
Democrats are so against voter ID, even to the point.
Of course they're against voter ID. Because they want illegals to vote. They want to bring in illegal immigrants so that they could vote for them. It's despicable shit. It's not.
It's so funny that you just showed us that New York couldn't even pass non-citizens voting, and then you're still claiming that illegals are voting for it. Like, that's great. You're doing a really good job. You're doing a great job.
just dumb. It's evil.
Evil.
Banning.
It's
evil.
Stealing a country.
Stealing the country.
Perhaps this video is shedding some light on that.
Did you get a work permit? Because I know, like, in order to work, do you need a work permit?
No, estoy así. No soy legal.
So,
Dude was so confident. He was. There's no way. Wait, no.
Work permit?
No, estoy así. No soy legal.
Bro, how is he so casual and confidently saying to a camera in an interview, I'm not legal? Oh my god, that's incredible. It's insane. It's insane.
I'm waiting for
I don't know, man. If all these guys are flying the flags of their countries and love their
waiting for the actual criticism to hear that he's never going to give.
countries and nationalities so much, man. Why are they in America?
That's so crazy. Hey, have you ever considered criticizing the legal pizza establishment that hires him for hiring an illegal? You guys want to shit and fart and cum and poop yourselves about illegal immigrants coming here to performing jobs. Why do you never give a fuck about the job employing them in the first place? It's like that's a if these legal establishments were cracked down on and not allowed to hire illegal immigrants, you want to know what happened? The illegal immigrants wouldn't come here for work because they'd have no jobs. You guys are putting the cart before the horse, as they say. You guys, but you don't have any critical thinking skills, so you don't think about that. And part of the reason is because people don't want to do jobs like that anymore. People don't want to fucking deliver pizzas too much anymore. That's why it's always a fucking Hispanic guy or an Indian guy. Because you want to know why white kids are lazy. Because a lot of these jobs are like the fucking pizzeria. Who works a pizzeria job? It's usually some fucking white kids. But you want to know what? These white kids are lazy and entitled, and their mommy and daddy lets them fucking stay home and not work until they're almost 30 years old. So now nobody's going to do it. So now the fucking Hispanic guy has to do it. And you want to know what? Ever since we started hiring Hispanic people to work at pizzerias, the quality and taste of pizza has gone up. I'm just going to say, maybe there's a reason why. Maybe there's a reason why. Maybe there's a reason why there's more Taco Bells than Pizza Huts. I don't know. All I'm saying, dude. So, but like, he's never going to bring this up because he doesn't care. It doesn't fit his narrative. And he's incredibly stupid and doesn't even like think about these things. There's no complex thought. It's very comfortable to be this person because there's no intelligent thought rolling through his head.
Oh my god, they just
said they're illegal. That's true. They might not be illegal. They might be asylum seekers. You got a good point.
say this shit. It should not be a source of pride to be not legal in the country. What is going
He's got a job. I don't really give a fuck.
on? The wall wants to know your location, dude.
So the work permit situation is actually a mess.
Dude, wait, hold up. I love watching this guy scratch his nose.
No soy legal.
I'm not legal. He's just like, oh, what the fuck? He just admitted to that shit on my video.
I'm more interested in what this guy has to say.
He's just like, what? What just happened?
That's so crazy.
And he's so confident because, you know, AOC taught him how to avoid ICE. So hell yeah, dude.
So the
It'll be a golden
He didn't even know who AOC was, though. Didn't he just say he didn't know who she was? So how would that claim doesn't even make sense?
age of America for Americans, but for illegals, it'll be an ice age of America.
Work permit situation is actually a mess. Some illegal immigrants got it when they applied for asylum, some got it months later, and others never got it. The ones you see delivering DoorDash more or less have it because that's just about the only thing that DoorDash requires for you to be able to deliver.
All right.
However, even in that case,
he's saying that a lot of them are here like illegal asylum seekers, so
migrants without work permits will buy DoorDash accounts from those that do have one.
They're fucking selling DoorDash accounts. Wait, so you get a guy with a work visa buying a DoorDash account and then selling it for cash on the sidewalk to an illegal immigrant that doesn't have a work visa.
You realize the guy said asylum seeker. That is somebody here legally. I don't know why you can't hear information and then actually like register it in your head. It's almost like you have a script in your brain and you're not actually processing any information being absorbed. You're just ready to reel off that script. You're stupid. How the fuck, what is happening?
Nux, you're cooking too much? I don't know, man. Sorry, I hate to cook this much, but every once in a while, the Nux base arc, it goes a little hard.
No country can withstand taking in millions of illegal immigrants. This was a calculated effort. Just wait until you see how this guy got here.
Is there asylum seekers?
He just continues to say the quiet part out loud.
Did they give you any trouble at the border? Did they bother you at all?
No, yo entré bien sin ningún problema.
No, I just came in, no problem. All right.
No fui detenido por inmigración.
Okay, he wasn't detained by immigration.
So you just walk in and they say hello and they let you in?
Sí, solo yo pasé así, caminé muy tranquilo y
just like
pude llegar aquí, gracias a Dios.
Yeah.
What was that supposed to prove to us? He's an asylum seeker. That's how the process is supposed to work. And Trump, again, Trump pressured Republicans to not actually deal with the asylum seeking process under Biden so he can run on it. So why the fuck do we care?
That's crazy. Oh my god. I just came in. I was calm. I just walked in. They guided me to the nearest hotel. It was prepaid. I don't know who paid for it, but it was great. Just walked in. Hell yeah, dude. No problem at all.
So you don't have to pay taxes, right?
¿Pagas impuestos?
No, porque, como le dijera, apenas yo empecé a trabajar, a veces trabajo, ¿no? Soy una persona diabética y pues a veces ando bien y a veces ando muy caído, entonces es un poco complicado. Yo quisiera mejor regresar a México porque
I would rather return to Mexico because I don't have.
no tengo para, como le dijera, tengo que renovar otra vez el seguro.
I have to renew the insurance again. Okay, hold on. If this guy wants to, wait, let me get this straight. If this guy wants to return to Mexico, I'd fucking stay in America.
I don't know. I just want to watch this part from his video so I can see what.
So you see how this guy got here, he just continues to say the quiet part out loud.
Did they give you any trouble at the border? Did they bother you at all?
No, yo entré bien, sin ningún problema.
No problem.
No fui detenido por inmigración.
So you just walk in and they say hello and they let you in?
Sí, solo yo pasé así, caminé muy tranquilo y pude llegar aquí, gracias a Dios.
So you don't have to pay taxes, right?
¿Pagas impuestos?
No, porque, como le dijera,
No, because as I told you, I had just started working.
apenas yo empecé a trabajar, a veces trabajo, ¿no?
Sometimes I work. I'm a diabetic person.
Pues a veces ando bien y a veces ando muy
Sometimes I feel very sick, very ill.
caído, entonces es un poco
It's a bit complicated.
Yo quisiera mejor
I would rather return to Mexico because I don't have any. How to
regresar a México porque
say,
no tengo para, como le dijera, tengo que renovar otra vez
I have to renew the insurance
el
again.
seguro. Me lo da la ciudad, sí.
City gives it to me.
No
Yeah.
tienes que pagar nada.
I don't. You don't have to pay anything for that,
No,
right?
lo que pago cada vez
What I pay each time I pick up the medicine, it's like $3 or $4. Okay.
que recojo el medicamento son como $3, $4.
Insulin without
Hold on.
insurance.
Me lo da la ciudad, sí.
No tienes que pagar nada por eso.
No, lo que pago cada vez que
Oh, wait, we got a big fuck up right here.
recojo el medicamento son como $3, $4.
Insulin
Oh, motherfucker. This guy's a lying scumbag piece of fucking dog shit. Let me just tell you right now. Let me tell you why. They're having a conversation about how he is diabetic. Sometimes he doesn't feel very well. And that he wishes he can go back to Mexico because he wants to, because it's difficult. The insurance is difficult here. And then he says that he picks up his medication for $3 to $4. Okay. And then this guy starts talking about insulin. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Clarify the medication that this guy takes for his diabetes. What type of diabetes? Does he need insulin or is he on metformin? What type of diabetes does he have? Type 1, type 2, is it insulin? Is it metformin? You're not telling us. Why aren't you telling us? Do you go on to say?
Our insurance can cost hundreds of dollars. There is a new law that caps insulin at $35 for Americans with Medicare, but that doesn't apply to him, and he's getting it even cheaper. So he snuck across the border without even being detained, and we pay for his medicine. Now he wants to...
You never even clarified that it was insulin. He could be on fucking metformin. I pay $3 for my metformin every month. This guy's a fucking scumbag. These people are liars. They withhold information intentionally, so they have plausible deniability. He's a fucking liar. These people are losers. Holy fuck.
Me lo da la ciudad, sí.
Oh, the city gives it to him. Never mind. Problem solved.
Who gives a shit? Everybody should have fucking free healthcare. Oh, it's not free. Excuse me. I'll pay the most for it because I make a lot of money.
No,
Nope, he does not need to pay for Medicaid, baby. He walks in, finds a home, ignores taxes, gets free Medicaid. That's our guy. That's our dude. What is going on? Why is America so cooked? How do people fight on behalf of this shit? Oh my god. And AOC fights. Well, AOC fights on behalf of this shit. Like, the fact that I need to pay taxes, okay, and I need to pay healthcare.
You're a millionaire. Even if this guy was legal, he shouldn't have to pay taxes anyway. He's fucking poor. I don't give a shit.
For this guy, who doesn't pay taxes, is insane. It's absolutely
Who fucking cares?
insane. And I have some...
Why is it insane? What the fuck happened? Dude, what drives me up a fucking wall fundamentally is that these people are so, again, like, he doesn't want to pay for any fucking poor person's shit. It's just like, what happened to society? We have this weird society. I have no problem. Dude, I make a decent amount of money. I don't give a fuck that I have raise my taxes. Fuck, dude. Give poor people free shit. You give poor people free shit, they cause less crime. That's all I fucking care about. Who gives a fuck?
People in the audience, in my chat, that are like, but it doesn't, it's not really hurting anybody. It is hurting people. It literally is hurting people.
What's hurting people?
Forget the violent crimes and gangs. The fact that every American needs to suffer a little bit more because of these people taking tax money is ridiculous.
What? Because he wants, because he gets his metformin for $3. Me too.
pago cada vez que recojo el medicamento son como $3, $4.
Insulin without insurance can cost hundreds of dollars. There is a new law that caps insulin at $35 for Americans with Medicare. But
didn't Trump roll that over? Let me just check that. All right. Let me just read this out there because I think I was wrong. Donald Trump did not get rid of the $35 insulin cap for Medicare recipients as of April 4th, 2025. The misconception stems from confusion over executive actions he took early in his second term, starting the 20th of 2025. On that day, Trump signed an executive order rescinding dozens of Biden-era orders, including executive order whatever. I think that's the one that protected this. Oh, okay. 14087, which directed the Department of Human and Health Services, Health and Human Services, to explore new payment models to lower drug costs for Medicare and Medicaid. Social media posts elsewhere claimed this reversed the $35 entry cap, predicting prices would soar back up. The cap for Medicare Part D and B beneficiaries comes from the Inflation Reduction Act, signed into Biden's law. Okay. Gotcha. So he didn't rescind that. Okay, cool. Guys, we just fact-checked ourselves live. Oh, fuck. Oh, God, imagine everybody tried to do that.
But that doesn't apply to him, and he's getting it even cheaper. So he snuck across the border without even being detained, and we pay for his medicine. Now he wants to go back to Mexico.
Sounds like he paid for it.
Let's see why.
Why do you want to go back?
That's a good question. All right, he's living in a land of all sorts of hopes and dreams. Why does he even want to leave?
Yo quisiera en unos meses ya, unos 8 meses.
I just want to watch it from here first. I would like to in a few months.
En unos meses ya.
About 8
unos 8
months.
meses quiero juntar un poco y regresar.
I want to save some money and go back.
Okay, so let's stop calling all of these people
Gotcha.
asylum seekers.
Gotcha.
Quiero juntar un poco y regresar.
Okay, so let's stop calling all of these people asylum seekers.
Well, they would be asylum seekers. This would be a invalid reason to claim asylum. Just to be clear. Perfectly valid criticism. Hard to go at that. It's hard to give that criticism because, again, Donald Trump pressured conservatives, Republicans, under Biden's administration to knock down a bill that Republicans presented that would have put money at the border and would have tightened the restrictions on asylum seekers because he wanted to run on it. So you guys are not allowed to complain about this. You're not allowed to complain about the asylum seeking process sucking ball sack because you motherfuckers are so obsessed with Trump that, like, even when he's not in office, you guys do whatever he wants because he has, like, fucking chokehold on the party. To the point where people voted for him despite the fact that he announced massive taxes on consumers through tariffs, which is what it was. All right. And by the way, that's going to turn around your voter base. Okay, when I'm having discussions with my own mother who voted for Trump about how she's not really happy with what's going on, you guys are fucked. Okay. She's still a little optimistic. She says, I hope it goes well. But she doesn't really see it going well. You guys are starting to lose. You guys were able to get elected on conspiracy theories of fucking election fraud and that COVID wasn't real. And now the hysteria is going away because you're destroying the economy. And you're hurting the position of the world for decades. Or excuse me, the position of America when it comes to the world for decades. This is what's happening. And like this is what's going to happen. You guys are going to have to suffer. You're going to have to lose your different benefits, and you're going to have to, unfortunately, somebody you're going to have to die just so that we can show fucking morons that Trump was a bad pick. And it's unfortunate. It's sad. All we can hope is that most of the people who die from lack of access to different welfare programs are people who voted for Trump because you voted for this.
No, absolutely not. He's not an asylum seeker. I absolutely hate that term at this point. Because while I do think there are a lot of asylum seekers for sure, I think the majority are just people that feel like they can make more money in America. So they jump over the border, they live in America for a couple of years, they make a bunch of money, and then they jump back to wherever they came.
Yeah, you think that this is what they're doing? They're just going back? Like, this doesn't even make sense. You think that they all are coming here just for a couple of years just to go back? That's just silly. This guy said he wanted to do that. It's just like a weird thing to extrapolate. A lot of them are coming here for better financial opportunities, that's for sure. But like this whole concoction of like they're trying to go back, blah, blah, blah. They're probably coming here and sending money back. That's what a lot of people, they do that.
Came from, or not, and it's insane. It's ridiculous. Why the fuck should I need to pay for these people? It makes absolutely no sense that I should pay for these people. Why do the people that aren't American have more rights in America than the Americans?
How do they have more rights? He can't even speak English.
Is it just me, or is that completely retarded?
Well, it's not true what you're saying, so.
Makes absolutely no sense.
That's not what this is. Asylum is when you are running from a credible threat on your life. It's not when you sneak across the border so you can get free insurance and then come back to your country after you make some money. That's not asylum. That is, however, a reason why Democrats now have an approval rating of 26%.
Okay.
It fell to 26. Oh Lord.
And
the asylum seekers don't want to go back to their country. Yep. Oh my God, that's
let's see what they're at after the next couple of weeks. All right, guys.
Insane. Holy shit.
By the time this video comes out as a regular video and not just the stream reaction, the tariffs will, I believe the 10% tariffs go in April 5th and the massive tariffs go in on the 9th of April. So we'll see how fucked we are.
Now let's ask him.
I have someone in my chat just saying this should be addressed, but why is Nux doing it? It's not going to make a difference. What are you talking about? Bro, none of these people knew who they were voting for. Talking about this makes all the difference. Oh, obviously it makes a difference. What is even going on?
Wait, I'm so sorry. Doesn't Nux go on about how he's just memeing and trolling, and now he's having a meltdown on a chatter who's talking about how he's not going to make enough of a difference? What happened to the facade? What happened to the, we're just existing in chaos? Oh, it was just an excuse the whole time to fucking virtue signal about how he doesn't really care, so he doesn't actually have to politically educate himself, and so he could use random Twitter articles with absolutely no facts tied to them and present that as an actual fact. What a beautiful meant to beware, guys. Incredible.
I am absolutely mind-boggling at this point.
About ICE.
Have you seen ICE here at all? Like, do they do any deportations in this area?
No.
No, I haven't even seen it. Oh my god! How does it not end?
Check this out. I'm about to react to this next thing he says.
I work, I go out for shopping.
This has pretty much been the whole fucking. This has pretty much been the entire video. Incredible commentary, guys. This is fucking wild.
To cook, I didn't even see it. Oh my god, what is going on, man? Some people want to stay in the dark. Yeah, but those people, unfortunately, I think, are doing a disservice to themselves and to society. You're gonna have people. We're gonna have people staying in the dark and voting to keep this shit going on because they don't want to be labeled a bad guy if they vote.
You guys, you get afraid of the dark, dude? You afraid of black stuff?
The wrong way. God, it's crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
Oh my lord.
It's crazy. You think that some people are just like, hey man, they're just here. They're trying to like earn a living, so I'm not gonna fuck with them too much because it's like not a super high on my priorities list. Like for me, not really high on my priority list to get rid of illegal immigrants. To be honest with you, like it's not good, but I don't have like a strong opinion about getting rid of them because they do contribute to the economy, and I totally get not wanting to be in a place that's better than your place. So like I'm not really shitting my pants about it. I feel like most people. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like most people should feel that way, and I think that most people do. Illegal immigration is bad, but like we know these people are here to try to have a better life, so like I'm not super fucking bothered by it. It's just like not ideal, but I don't have to have a strong opinion on everything.
Voy de compras para cocinar.
And the craziest thing is, this is from Elon Musk's speech yesterday. He was literally cooking.
Whoa!
Welcome my friend Antonio Gracias to the stage.
Whoa!
It might be long. I'm looking for a shorter clip. This one's like 5 minutes long. But apparently, all right, whatever. We won't watch the whole thing.
I think so.
Just have your editor cut it down.
Does it work? I can give you mine. Does it work? It'll be okay. I mean, Buzz Aldrin's still alive, and Antonio's helping out in the Social Security database.
All right, get ready. Get ready to lose your absolute mind, bro.
So crazy. And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here.
What is it that we're getting shown here?
Where how many Social Security numbers were issued? Do you want to?
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened here.
Ready?
We started at the top of the system.
We
started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already, but this is what jumped out at us.
So just to be clear, just to be clear, this is this. This here is this data. This is Social Security numbers issued by non-U.S. citizens per year. Okay. What this is meant to show is that under Biden's administration, it went up drastically. The reality is during Trump's first presidency, it was still very high. This information is deceptively presented to you on purpose. If Trump thought this was an issue, why didn't he deal with this in his first presidency? Then you might be like, well, why did it tank down and go back up? This is when COVID restrictions stopped people from coming in to the country. By the way, just because you're a non-citizen doesn't necessarily mean that you are illegal. You could be an asylum seeker. You could have a green card. You could have a work visa. Okay? But the reason that they present this information deceptively like this is because there's a narrative there. And the narrative is Biden let in so many illegals. But if you actually look at all the data, Biden was pretty much on par. Well, Biden actually had fewer illegals come in. Apparently there are fewer non-citizen issued these Social Security cards. It's so interesting. So, wow, crazy stuff. Let's continue.
When we saw these numbers, we're like, what is this?
Yeah, literally, you're going to lose your shit when you see this.
I'm not going to lose my shit because I'm not a fucking baby like you.
In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. Mm-hmm. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Ahem.
You ready? He's going to call them illegal immigrants.
Did we hear that? Did we all hear that correctly? It's a graph of non-citizens getting Social Security numbers.
Just call them illegal immigrants.
Do I need to explain why this is very scary?
Yeah, explain it to me. Explain to me why they're showing us a graph that they only showed us this part here when the reality is that non-citizens consistently get Social Security numbers because they're not elite. Not all non-citizens are illegals. A lot of them are people here legally on work visas or asylum seekers, and they get Social Security numbers to pay taxes. That's why they pay. That's why they get it. So explain. But I want you to extrapolate that thought. Explain to me what the issue is. Explain it to me.
Or like you got it.
Yeah.
He can't explain it. He's stupid. He's a fucking moron. He can't explain to us what's going on here. What's going on here is that the reason why the number dips, and again, they're showing us just the bottom. They're just showing us 2021 and on to make it seem like Biden like fucking shoveled them in. It went down because of high COVID restrictions, right? And then it came back up as people came back in. We do this because there are people here that are here legally, but they're just not citizens, and we issue them social security numbers so that they can pay taxes. It's so fucking basic. That's literally all it is. Don't you guys want people to pay taxes? Why do you have to deceptively present the information? But he can't explain that to you. He doesn't possess the ability and capacity to explain this to anybody. He doesn't know how to do it. He's fucking stupid. Also, is that actually social security numbers, or is this also conflated with like employee identification numbers? That's a good question too.
You hear the crowd like grumbling, they're scared. Look at this.
Because you're all stupid.
2 million new non-citizen social security numbers came out. This is all fraud.
This is a mind-blowing chart.
It's all fraud. I don't understand. These guys are lying to you in real time, and you still trust these people. It's actually fucking incredible. And I love this part here too. You see this number here too? Look at this. This is 2025. He's hiding. He's over it. He's not intentionally hiding it, but this is 2025. Sorry. It's so interesting. This is 2025. How many months into 2025 are we? Huh. That's so interesting. Oh, wow. Oh, it's almost like we're in the first quarter of 2025. Huh. So interesting. Wow, no wonder they're so much lower under Trump. We haven't even had not even a fucking half the years happened. The fiscal year might actually be different. Might be October. So this actually might be fiscal year 2025. Which starts October 1st. So we're actually halfway. Okay, we're halfway through. Doesn't really matter. This number generally aligns with that halfway point. My point is still, that's why 2025 looks lower. We're only halfway through the fiscal year. Right? January, February, March. Yeah, we're 5 months through the fiscal year. This is so incredible. These people are dumb. They don't question anything that they hear.
This literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And
then they cut it up to make it look more deceptive.
By the way, my parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister are all born in Spain.
These people are
I'm pro legal
liars.
immigration. This is not political.
Yeah, no, it's literally not.
Non-citizens aren't here illegally.
My grandparents are immigrants into America, and I also like America.
Where are they from? What country?
Very much. And this is fucking crazy. This is not a political issue.
This is not political. This is about America and the future of America.
America is actually, it was one election away from becoming Europe. Dude, when I
What does that mean? Like, do you think Europe's doing like really poorly or something? I don't understand.
saw this chart, my face fell off. That's how shocked I was.
And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now. That work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today.
Do you see how insane this is?
No, because you're stupid.
Left is saying it's not real. I'm sure they are. But dude, what is going on? This is insanity. Europe is fine. Oh, that's funny. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. I don't know what video is going to come out on YouTube first, but I'm working on a Europe is cooked video. They're not fine. They're very not fine. But this is crazy. This is insanity. Absolute insanity. Holy shit.
This is what he's referring to.
Yeah, social security numbers are for citizens. That's insane. That's like absolutely.
No, social security numbers are for people here legally. They're not just for citizens.
Holy shit. Yeah, social security numbers are for citizens.
This guy's a fucking baby.
That's insane. That's like absolutely insane.
Sure,
But anyway.
You say so.
El único día que descanso.
He's such a weird liar.
Solo siempre es este movimiento, pero no he visto yo.
In this neighborhood, I see a lot of people who came here illegally and they don't speak English. What percentage of people do you think are like that here in this neighborhood?
Yo creo que sí, la mayoría. Sí.
Yep, most people do not speak English.
Do you see how deceptive this is? Look at this. I'm gonna want you to watch this regularly.
That's not what this is. Asylum is when you are running from a credible threat on your life. It's not when you sneak across the border so you can get free insurance and then come back to your country after you make some money. That's not asylum. That is, however, a reason why Democrats now have an approval rating.
Por ejemplo, yo trabajo y solo salgo hoy
about ICE.
Have you seen ICE here at all? Like, do they do any deportations in this area?
No, movimiento, pero no he visto yo.
In this neighborhood, I see a lot of people who came here illegally and they don't speak English. What percentage of people do you think are like that here?
Okay, so would you expect his answer to be like, oh, there's a lot of people that are here illegally and don't speak English? Let's see what he says.
Neighborhood.
Yo creo que sí, la mayoría. Sí.
I just wanted to ask that.
Oh, that's so interesting. That's so interesting. What an interestingly deceptive piece of dog shit this big-lipped fuckface is. Sorry. I just have to criticize him. I want you to understand the question they asked was basically a two-parter. Are there a lot of people that are here illegally and don't speak English? The guy answers, yeah, there's a lot of people who don't speak English. What you're supposed to think is that he answered, oh, there's a lot of people here that are here illegally. But that's not how he answered the question. He answered the question like, yeah, there's a lot of people who don't speak English. And he's just going to roll on from it. And you want to know why there's so many cuts? Because he knows that this is deceptive.
Don't speak English. What percentage of people do you think are like that here in this neighborhood?
Oh, really interesting. Why is there a cut there?
In this neighborhood, I see a lot of people who came here illegally and they don't speak English. What percentage of people do you think are like that here in this neighborhood?
Yo creo que sí, la mayoría. Sí.
I just wanted to ask that just to confirm.
Yeah. You like that? You like how this is deceptive. Whoever the fuck this guy is, Nate Friedman, is a deceptive, disgusting piece of shit that's desperate to push out disinformation on purpose because he benefits from it. That's literally it. That's why he gave this answer like this. This fucking weird Elliot Rodgers piece of fucking dog shit just decided to lie to a bunch of very unintelligent people right here.
All right, okay.
I just wanted to ask that just to confirm if I got unlucky and came here on the only hour of the day where pretty much nobody speaks English. And for our final interview, I did manage to find someone who knew who AOC was.
Woo! Let's go! Yeah, baby!
Based on how you've been deceptively presenting information, I don't believe a single word that this guy says.
Do you know who AOC is? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
Sí, es una congresista de aquí del estado de Nueva York. Sí.
Listen, you get people that speak English, you get people that know AOC. You don't get both, all right? Listen.
Yeah, do you think she's doing a good job here?
Sí, para mí sí. Sí, sí.
What do you like that she's doing?
Pues está poniendo...
She's putting order on the streets. She's literally doing the opposite. What?
Well, how do you know that? Maybe she's doing a lot more in her district than you think. He lives there. Wouldn't he have a better idea of what's going on?
Poco de orden aquí en las calles. Poco de orden.
AOC's greatest supporter.
Order. Oh, okay. I see a lot of police on the street now. Did she do that?
Sí, hay demasiada policía por aquí, en las calles y avenidas. Sí.
I heard she wants to defund the police, but she's putting more police. It's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, she's a...
Sorry. I just want to be very clear what we just heard. You just claimed that she wasn't implementing law and order, and then you criticized her for putting more police on the street because she's a defund the police person, which means that you're admitting that she actually is for law and order. Okay, again, that was 5 years ago when she would say these things, and 5 years ago this guy was watching lolicon porn with his friends for YouTube content. You think maybe we can all have a little bit of growth, or are we just no? We can't do that. Oh, okay, cool stuff, man.
He's a big defund the police person too. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
like, how
cool.
do you live with this many hypocritical fucking bullshit
So
in your
hypocritical.
face? How are you like an actual human?
When you said restore order to the streets,
this sounds like the guy that got very... He's talking about ordering prostitutes.
Ooh, got
Shut
him.
up, bro. Stop.
Was that very recently after Trump won or before?
Sí, exactamente. Antes de que entrara Trump, había mucha...
No way. He likes AOC because AOC is fixing stuff, but he's complaining about the administration before Trump.
You like how he doesn't answer this next question? He cuts it off.
I heard she wants to defund the police, but she's putting more police. It's kind of interesting, right? When you said restore...
Do you like that? How he asks a question and the guy obviously gives him an answer that's like, okay, you're annoying and dumb as shit, and he just moves on.
Or order to the streets. Was that very recently after Trump won or before?
Sí, exactamente. Antes de que entrara Trump.
Before Trump came into office, there was a lot of crime on the streets.
Había mucha delincuencia en las calles.
Okay.
Notaba que ya Trump se eligió
When Trump was elected.
para
Okay.
presidente, como que están mejorando las cosas y mucha vigilancia, mucha policía en las calles.
Okay.
Well, there you have it.
Cool.
Before Trump came into office, there was crime on the streets. Oh, we're so cooked. He knows nothing.
Delincuencia.
What do you mean he knows nothing? He's agreeing with you. Is this guy an idiot?
But he's complaining about the administration before Trump because before
He's not. He never complained about the administration. What?
Trump came into office, there was crime on the streets.
I don't understand.
Oh, we're so cooked. He knows nothing.
Delincuencia en las calles. Notaba que ya Trump se eligió para presidente, como que están mejorando las cosas y mucha vigilancia, mucha policía en las
So he's like, yeah, AOC's great. There's so much order ever since Trump was president. Meanwhile, AOC going out there ranting against Trump every single day.
calles.
But if they're a sanctuary city, then the Trump has had no impact themselves. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. Was there some kind of active police pressure from Donald Trump to police the streets more? It doesn't make any sense. Just because Trump's president doesn't mean that he has any impact on more police officers in New York going into New York. They're a sanctuary state. So, or sanctuary city, whatever. Okay.
Well, there you have it. The streets got cleaner after Trump won. Yet, look at what AOC said.
Oh, actually, you want to know what? No, hold on. Okay. Trump has continued to spotlight New York City's crime issues. In March 2025, his administration, through Transportation Security Secretary, Sean Duffy, threatened to withhold or redirect federal funding from New York's Metropolitan, or MTA, unless the agency provided detailed plans to address the subway crime. So this actually isn't about the crime in this area, so it probably has nothing to do with it. But it's possible that this has to do with that. So maybe this is because Donald Trump pressured them. I don't think so, because this is specifically for the MTA, but that's possibly what it is. It's possible. I don't really think it is what it is, but this could be part of that. This could be part of that effort, for sure. Doesn't mean that everything that Trump's doing is bad. So, yeah, but like, this is the thing. Why aren't you independently fact-checking this? Like, why is it that I will go and like, okay, let me see like what's being said, blah, 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 blah. Let me look through this. And then I take my licks when I got them. Like, oh, okay, I said something wrong. I correct myself immediately. It's not a big deal. And make sure I correct myself. I'm reading it on the side. I could literally just ignore this and not share this information with you if I wanted to. Why is he not doing any of this? Why is there no observation of the truth here? It doesn't make any sense. He's like a fucking idiot.
As in this clip.
It's fucking crazy.
Every time you see Tom Homan on Fox News, every time you
I told you, her versus Tom Homan is the greatest beef of all time.
see Kristi Noem, every time you see these law enforcement officials doing flashy television interviews, understand that they are taking resources away from looking at human trafficking.
Maybe, I don't care about that.
This is the most like emotionally manipulative fucking bullshit I've ever.
Not really. I don't know if they're taking any active resources, but it's definitely for social media attention. Like, that's how a lot of these things are done. It's all through like, look at me, I'm doing stuff.
Ever seen. She's upset
Part of the game.
when Tom Homan goes on the news because that's time that they could be talking about human trafficking. When Tom Homan literally goes
Well, no, it's about time that they could be using to actually fight human trafficking. But again, I don't agree with their point, so.
on the news to talk about human trafficking. What? You cannot even make this make sense. You literally can't make this make sense. Bro, she got them crazy eyes. There is something going on. I don't know what fucking dance party is going on between her ears, but something is not working in there.
They're taking attention and focus and real dollars and real resources away.
You care about taking resources away when you are literally funding an entire fucking community of illegal immigrants funded by our tax dollars in your district? What is happening? Oh my god. What? Guys, I think we should cancel all of television. All of television needs to get canceled. Are you watching on Netflix when you couldn't instead be learning about human trafficking that she is trying to keep at an all-time high? It seems to me.
Well, again, I disagree with her point, but her point is specifically that somebody whose job it is to stop human trafficking is going on and doing interviews instead of actually doing it. I disagree with her point, but that's not the same as, hey, everybody, you can only watch stuff about human trafficking. You're obviously being stupid as fuck.
Like a wild retard appeared. It's crazy. She just popped out of nowhere. There was a manhole and whoop, out she came. I don't even know, man. I don't even know what you can do. Bro, and she's the front runner for the next presidential election. Dude, do you know that 300,000 children went missing at the border when Biden was president? The only people that are actually fighting against the trafficking.
Oh, is that true? This is not that 300,000 children went missing at the border. This is that there were 300,000 plus unaccompanied minors that went to the border. That's not even the same thing. They didn't go missing. What is he talking about? Oh, he's lying. What? Oh, they're conflating unanswered calls and missed court dates and unissued notices with children being physically lost or vanishing into trafficking networks. Is that what this is? Oh, they're conflating missed court dates and unissued notices with children being physically lost or vanishing into trafficking networks. So some of these missing kids supposedly could be trafficked kids, but that doesn't mean that they are all that. It's just conflating the numbers into making it seem like all of them were disappearing. So we would need more information on this because they don't have like a definitive tally. But like this, they're being deceptive in this talking point.
Are the administration that she wants to destroy.
Right. The irony of her criticizing Tom Homan for going on Fox News while she has made hundreds of TV appearances as her district hits an 18% poverty rate.
Sure, that's fair.
God, how does she even have like the ego for that?
That was one of the most hypocritical statements I've ever seen a politician make, and you know the competition is intense for that. Now, to continue our tradition of announcing the 3 most liked comments from the previous video.
All right, you can check them out. I'm going to link this video in the description. I was going to try to pull this up. All right, so this individual. All right, this person here. Man. I don't know, man. What's going on? Like, what is your argument? I'm trying to understand.
I don't understand. What's his argument?
Like, I would like to see your perspective. That's why I'm pulling you up. All right, no offense. She's not an enemy to America. Don't overstretch. No, she is an enemy to America. I think she is an enemy to America. I don't think
okay.
Law's already numb. I don't know what that means. She will keep winning, all right? That doesn't make her great. That's not AOC's mistake. Yes, it is AOC's mistake if she's funding the illegal immigrants. And she's telling them how to escape from the police. Info's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Yeah, it is definitely a big deal. It's sad for him. He's talking about the illegal immigrant because the illegal immigrant jumped over the border to get free medical. It is sad for him that he has diabetes, but like, what the fuck? Not my problem. No offense. Not my problem. Tell that to AOC. I would tell this to AOC. Make a separate league for different genders. Yeah. Agreed. It might be evil, but AOC is able to win with it. Same goes for Trump. I don't know what that means.
So whatever rhetoric you're claiming that she's evil on, it's the same rhetoric Trump would be using to get in, because he's also evil, but he is evil because he supports Russia.
Let him vote for whoever he wants. Yeah, but this is talking about an illegal immigrant. Illegal immigrants should not be voting. They're illegal in the country. They're illegal in the country.
This is what he does for the rest of the video. This video is so boring.
Votes, and I don't see a last election. And if they keep acting like this, they will keep losing. And as long as they keep acting this way, and again, it's Trump to watch and forget about. I don't know how you forget about it personally. I don't know how you could be so not forward-facing and realize that if this just continued for another generation, America would be a completely different country that you wouldn't recognize anymore.
You got it, man. Scary blacks. Okay, was this it?
He was a citizen and cheated. This is like an argument. How do I'm glad that we know who's fighting.
This video is fucking actually rotting my brain. I'm done with it.